than... Oh, hello. Hey everyone, it's Fox from Model Making Guru here. Hello, and welcome to another Warhamster. No, I nearly said Warhamster then. That's Chris's stick. Welcome to the Warhammer Sunday, my Sunday show where I work on my Warhammer army, the Unending forces of the Holy Contrivance. Or, in fact, in actuality, work on the Warhammer Conquest part work, which is what we've been doing for the last few months. Yes, welcome one and all. As always, it's one of my normal shows. So first and foremost, the thing I have to get out of the way is to thank the people that make all my programs like I'm on the telly. All my shows and videos possible. First and foremost, my patrons and channel members. My patrons who become patrons over at patreon.com/modelmakingguru. Address just there. And my YouTube members who become members by pressing the join button that's down underneath every one of my videos. They help me support this channel. They don't help me support the channel. They support the channel each month, and they help me pay the bills and put food on the table and keep this channel going and keep me in equipment and stuff and everything I need to keep the channel going. So massive thank you to all my patrons and channel members. I love you dearly. To all of you who aren't patrons and channel members, I still love you guys as well. I love all my children equally. Well, welcome to all of you. And of course, my corporate supporters, emodels.co.uk and goblingaming.co.uk. There's a thing up there. They are my... I can't get... Hang on. Talking rubbish. I need coffee. And tea. Yes, they are my corporate supporters. Again, they help keep this channel going. There's links to both of them, Goblin Gaming and eModels, in the description below the video. Do check out those links. They are my affiliate links, and it tells them I sent you, so I get something from that. It doesn't cost you any more. If you need to order any tabletop stuff or model making stuff, go and check them out. But yes, welcome. I'm going to be cracking on today. Now, first and foremost, before we get going, I've got the chat here in front of me. I don't know if you can't really see it because the chat box is in the way. There's a chat box here, but I've got the chat on my iPad. As always, the whole point of my live streams, apart from to make some money, is to give you guys a place to hang out in the chat. So do come and join the chat. You don't have to, but it's really nice if you do. If you're watching this embedded in Facebook or Twitter or somewhere else, just click on the YouTube icon that's in the bottom right hand corner down here somewhere. And that takes the YouTube page where you can join in the live chat. You can see an archive of the chat here. This thing here, that's my camera, I'm pointing at myself, but you can see the chat here. Do come and join in. There's mods in there keeping you safe, and they're all lovely. And I'll be interacting with chat. If you are in the chat, you can make sure that I can respond to your chat by typing in capital letters, because I'm going to be a bit away from the iPad to see your comments. So type in all capitals, or if you want to, you can click on the dollar symbol at the bottom of the chat. I'm not used to talking to camera. I'm still not used to it. It's weird. You can click on the dollar symbol at the bottom of the chat window, and that'll put your comment in a colour box. Then I can't miss your comment. See, this bit when I'm talking and doing all the spiel at the start, I'm normally like picking my nose or scratching my arse or, whatever. I'm reading a book or something. I'm just talking without having to be on camera, so I'm not used to actually having to look pretty and present. Weird. But anyway, yes, so come and join in the live chat and put your comment in capital letters or click on the YouTube, right there. I might let Guthorn do this bit next week. I just suck at it. I really do. Click on the YouTube. No, not the YouTube, the dollar symbol. God, fuck, get it right. Click on the dollar symbol. That's the super chat. Anyway, yes. Let's go to the bench before I carry on with this. I'm going to press the magic button. I've set up my buttons now, so I can do this. Ready? This is where I horribly find out that all my microphones weren't on or something. It would just be my luck. So welcome one and all. I'm going to get my correct glasses on now because I've got the wrong glasses on. Welcome one and all. Now, if you remember last week, yes, we were building the Chaos Spawn. And they were really boring and I didn't like them. And I said I'd finish them off camera and we'd do something else this week. I never got round to finishing them off camera because I had to do lots of stuff on the Millennium Falcon and I just never got round to it. And I looked at them this morning and was like, oh, I can't be arsed. So they've not been finished and I'm just going to put them to one side. I'll finish them some other time. We're going to skip them because they bored me. I didn't enjoy them. We're going to skip them today because today we are going to do the last thing in the Warhammer Conquest part work. Yes, the Primaris Repulsor. 4 issues of buildy, 4 magazine issues of buildy, and that will be the last thing, save for a couple of scenery items that I've just left till last, for the entire partwork. Now, if you're not familiar with the Warhammer Conquest partwork, basically it is still, you can still join it. It's an 80 magazine partwork series where each issue you get loads of bits of plastic to build up both a Chaos army, a Death Guard army, and an Imperium army, a load of Space Marines and vehicles and bits and bobs. And you end up with 2 armies, one of each. Now, my very good friend George and patron George has helped support this and helped fund this. So we are doing it as a joint thing. I'm obviously building and collecting and painting everything, but he's helped fund it. So we're going to split half and half. He's going to get all the Space Marine stuff, and I'm going to get all the Death Guard eventually when I can post things to the US, eventually when the world's not on fire anymore. So we're going to be doing the Primaris Repulsor. That's today's project. Let's start building that. So if you're hoping to see me finish off the Chaos Spawn, well, see, they're here. I've got them here. I really can't face doing any more work on them right now because there's no interest in them whatsoever. Just not at all. Those 2 particular models, just not interesting at all. Anyway, let's have a quick look at chat and see who is in. Ray Aquilina is in. I've just seen him. Hey, Ray. Welcome, welcome. Chris at Gross Model says, any models mug. Any models mug. Any models mug. E-models mug. I haven't got a Goblin Gaming mug to fight with it, so I'll have a quick look at who's in chat. We have David Sanderson. It was the first one that I have in chat that I can see. Raging Model and Chris at Gross Models, one of your lovely fluffy mods. We have Nimson Durin is in, although Nim's going to be buggering off in about an hour and a half to come play Dungeons & Dragons because that's clearly more important than my live stream. So I'm just crushed. Honestly, I'm just totally crushed. Fine. See if I care. I'm only kidding. Enjoy your D&D. But she's with us for an hour and a half. Speedy Curate is in somehow towards the start of the show and not at the end of the show, so I don't quite get that. Ross Medlock, welcome Ross. We have Gemma Williams is in, welcome Gemma. How you doing? David Sanderson then says hello again, even though he was the first one in. That's kind of weird. Hello. Maybe he came back. He went out and came back in again. Who else do we have in? Interzone 88. Welcome Interzone. G'day. Ray, of course, is in. Hello, Fox, my friend. Hello, Ray, my friend. You can't see it, but behind my microphone, which is over here, there's that little patch, Malta patch you sent me. I've still got it. Chris at Grace Model says bold. Wayne Haywood says afternoon, everyone. Hope you're all well. I'm fine, thank you. More interesting than watching Fox like this than the close-up of a lot of sanding. Lol. Yeah, you don't want to see me constantly though. It's really weird. It's just not. I can do this kind of thing where I'm not facing the camera. It's perfectly fine, and I can do like the E-model show where it's a few of us. I can do that kind of thing because I'm looking at their face on the screen. But just me presenting to camera, I can't. I'm no good at it. Which is partly why I started that Fox Explains thing with the animated Fox character, because it's a lot easier for me to do that than actually look at the camera. That's weird. I can't do it. Here is a comment in capital letters, says the Raging Modeler. There you go. That's how you get your comment spotted. You put it in capital letters. My new chair has arrived 2 days early. Thanks, FedEx, says Nim. Yay. Awesome. Ronald Cottrell says, I don't play, but I love the tips that you give for painting detail on small kits. Thank you very much, Ronald. I don't play either. I've not actually played ever yet, because I'm not organised enough to actually have built an entire squad of a single unit of dudes. I keep painting bits of dudes, like 5 Space Marines and 10 Imperial Guard. Not enough to field in a game. So eventually I will get around to playing a game. But David says, no, I'm just weird. Well, we know. How very dare you insinuate that I have a habit of arriving late? Psh, says Spid. Spid, you have a habit of arriving late. I expect this to be finished today, young man, says the Raging Modeler. No. Tiberian Sun says, Mwan. Welcome, Tiberian Sun. Guten Tag. Till 6 o'clock, if I remember. Eventually, mate, games will be played, the Raging Modeler. Yes, the Raging Modeler and I, we both have... Goblin Games is kind of local to both of us, 20 minutes away from me in a drive. So when the world's not on fire and I can actually go out in the outside world and be in the same room as people, I've got a squad of dudes that I can actually field. I am intended to meet up with him at Goblin Game to spend all day getting my ass handed to me, probably, I suspect. Nim says, I have Fox on yammering in the background, so I am still here. Yes, yammering. It's what I do. So yes, we are building a strong tank. We're building the Primaris Repulsor, which is really the only reason most people got this part work. Of all the models you get in the part work, this is the one everybody really wanted. And they were very clever to make it the last 4 issues. So you had to do up to issue 76 to get to this point. Yeah. They're not stupid, because if they gave this in the first 4 issues, everybody would get this and then just not do the rest. So yes, we're going to build the Primaris Repulsor. It will take a few weeks to get this built over the course of a few shows. Now, if you're not familiar with what I'm doing here, if you've not seen any of these live streams, I've been doing it for about a year or so, year and a half. Oh, I put the instructions under there. I need them. The idea is that I did start filming painting these, but I realised it was complete garbage because I was just following the magazine, and there's no point me teaching you how to paint what the magazine tells you to do. It was completely pointless. So I've stopped. I'm going to strip all those back and get all the paint off them. I'm getting everything built up, and then once everything's built, it's probably going to be towards the end of this year, next year now, I'm going to start filming painting everything. Every single thing, not every individual model, but all the different things in this Warhammer Conquest. I'm going to do proper how to paint videos. Now, obviously, I'll be doing a custom colour scheme for the Space Marines because these are for George and he can have whatever colour scheme he wants. And I'll be painting my own Death Guard in a specific colour scheme that I'm going to make up. It's not going to be the traditional green. So it's not going to be how to paint them to look like Games Workshop, but it's going to have to paint them to look cool. So, swig of coffee. Everything at once, says Spid. No, not everything at once, Spid. I'll be painting them bit by bit. But like, for example, if I've got 10 Space Marines, I'm not going to paint 10 Space Marines on camera, but I'll paint one and say, here's the rest of the squad that we're all painted the same way. That kind of thing. You know, I will have to... I'm going to have to show painting a Space Marine bike. It actually means I'm going to have to make a Space Marine bike, but yeah, I don't know. Okay, Nim says, I think Nim means that she'll still have me on in the background while playing D&D. Okay. Roll for flop sweat. Right, so let's crack on, shall we? Yes, Guthorm is here as well, monitoring the chat as always. Yay, a Space Marine bike, says the Raging Modeler. Banned. So, hopefully audio and video is okay for you guys. Hopefully it looks and sounds okay. I've got the sniffles, of course, because the camera is on, so there you go. I've got my sanding mat, because we'll need that. Oh, the Repulsor, my favourite thing to chop up, says Steve B3. Yes, welcome, Steve. Welcome, welcome. Yes, you've chopped up a few of these. Building your Primaris Repulsor. So we're going to need parts. Well, yeah, we're going to need parts, aren't we? Need Teflor. Teflor. I do love the fact they give you the textured floor and everything, even though you're probably not going to see inside this. Although there may be a variant later on with like a door on the back, I suppose you might see inside, but yeah. Now, as we go along, I've got to, of course, keep an eye on how this is going to go together, because there's a door on the back, there you go, because I need to keep in mind painting order. For example, if I intend on painting the interior, which I might do, I don't know, I might do, I might not, because there's really no point. But if I intend on, for example, painting the interior, or perhaps if George wants me to paint the interior, because this will be his, god damn it, then what I need to do is see if I can, like in here, you can see how the top, the upper hull stunks down there and then the sides go on. So what I might need to do is see if it's possible to put the upper hull there and glue the sides on and then take the upper hull off again. So I can have all the sides and bits glued on in place and just be able to remove the upper hull. Like I've done with the Rhino and some of the other vehicles, you can just pop the top off. If that's possible, that means it's easy for me to get in there and paint the interior and then just splonk that down on the top. So I need to play with this as we go along and try and ascertain what exactly I can work with here. We don't know. We'll see. George might not want the interior painted because he might just want to play with it and not worry about opening and closing doors. I do not know. Lots of tiny bits to add on. It's not such a complicated build, I don't think. But there's one thing I'll be telling you, won't be having this ultramarine blue nonsense. All that nonsense. George is a man of wit and sagacity. He will not want ultramarines because he's not a chud. Right, let's get some bits off. Let's get me bits off. Right, where's me chop potatoes? Where's me big boy chops? There they are. Right, let's get some cutting going on. Whole lot of cutting going on. So we need the floor, obviously, obvs. First big bit. Now, I will do my best, as I always do in these shows, I will do my best to monitor the chat and join in with you and have a conversation with you. But I am obviously focusing on the things I'm cutting off the sprue and dealing with them. But it's hard for me to... I need my helmet of seeing. Hard for me to see the chat because I've got my helmet of seeing on my visor, magnifying visor, and that makes everything more than an inch away completely out of focus. So, yeah. If I do miss your comment, if you've said something to me in chat and you have, if I do miss your comment, you put it in capitals and I don't respond, you're more than welcome to repeat it. But remember, put it in capital letters so I have a chance to see it. Or if you want to, you can do a super chat. If you want to, you don't have to. Super chat, by the way, is another way you can help support this channel, because it does actually directly support me, this channel, and everything I do. It's another source of income for me, if you want to do that. It's always fiddly when there's a big sprue, because I can't keep it all on camera. Nim says, in the absence of Dad, who's not in at the moment, Scaly Models, Nim says, bench and belly. So yeah, bench and belly. What are you working on right now? What is your current build or model or any kind of creative thing you're working on? And what's in your belly? What are you having for your dinner, or what have you had for your dinner? Right, so I need 66 and 67. Okay, this is looking a little bit confusing now. 66, let's not do too many of these at once, because I'm going to get confusing myself if I do that. 66 and also 67, yeah, das ist richtig. Now, I've not even looked at the sprues yet, so I'm not familiar with which ones are on which sprue. 20, 90, 70, 80, 113. Oh, I wish they just had them numerically ordered. It'd be a lot easier. Right, here we go. I want 66 and 67. We shall start with them. What does it mean to go on? Oh, knocking the microphone. Sorry, I bet that was really loud for you guys. It's only pain when you first start out and you've got big, massive sprues. When you're on camera, is you've got to find somewhere to do this without just going off camera, but also without knocking the camera, because gosh. 66, and we want 67 now. Is 67 next to 66? Of course it's not. It's going to be nowhere near it, I suspect. It looks like something. 67's over here. Of course it is. So like Bandai, who like design their sprues to be logically ordered, so parts are kind of near each other. GW has the opposite thing. They design the parts to just fit within a sprue. They have a sprue size, and they try and get all the parts in as best they can, and then it doesn't really matter, you know, let the chips fall where they may. Whereas obviously with Bandai, they focus on getting all things in logical orders. Swig of coffee, yum. Nim says, no, still Baldur's Gate. We just got to the first level of hell last session. We also picked up our gnome rogue, so now we have stealth and range. Ooh, yeah, that's the D&D game they're playing. Nim says GT Racer on the bench. I'll start again. Nim says bench. GT Racer chair with D&D later. Belly probably ramen again. Yes. Get some hot dogs. Do what I did suggested yesterday. B3 said bench is a Mad Max post-apocalyptic style VW camper van. Belly was breakfast wraps. I don't know. If you may not know this if you have no interest in toys. I actually have no interest in toys, but I didn't know this. But Playmobil have just launched. They do a lot of vehicles for their figures. You know, Playmobil is like, they're like little minifig types, but they're kind of cool. But they've just announced or released, I'm not sure which, a Volkswagen Beetle, a vintage style Volkswagen Beetle, and a VW Samba camper van to scale with their minifigs, with their figures. And they look pretty good, actually, because Playmobil tend to do a bit more realistic than the other ones, who are their competition. I can't remember who they are now. Yeah, so Playmobil, and they look pretty good, to be honest. If you've been looking to pick up a rather large Volkswagen camper van or a rather large Volkswagen Beetle for any model making purposes, it might be a bit expensive, but you might do a lot worse than picking up a Playmobil one if they're available yet. I don't know how accurate they are, or how detailed, but if you're trying to do a diorama of, say, a junkyard scene, and you need a really big Volkswagen camper van. I mean, a Playmobil figure's that tall, isn't it? So I don't know roughly what scale Playmobil figures would be classed as, but I've seen them listed in a couple of places. Go and check them out. Check them out. If you've been looking for a big Volkswagen camper or a big classic Beetle, check out Playmobil. Plus, you can play with them, which is great. Yay! I will have a look at chat in a moment, so panic not, folks. Get rid of all these nubbings first. Nubulations. A little bit of an update for you. As I said at the start, the show is supported by models.co.uk and Goblin Gaming. Goblin Gaming, of course, are your traditional one-stop shop for all your tabletop needs. gaming and model making stuff. E-models, of course, more usually the traditional model making stuff. They do now stock, of course, Games Workshop. They are slowly building up the level of stock. It's just purely because of Chocolate Velociraptor that happened just as they were starting to get the stock in. They have now got a small selection of the paints, the Citadel paints. So if you're placing an order at E-models anytime soon, you need to pick up some Citadel paints, give them a shout. Give them a look. So they've not got the full range yet. Again, deliveries are, because of obviously the whole world being on fire, deliveries are taking their time and a bit slow at the moment. So, but they will get eventually the whole range. So go and check them out. Anyway, how are you all? Hope you're all well. I hope you're all fine and also dandy. I need to get these nubs off now. I don't know how visible these areas are going to be and how snug these are going to fit with other components. So I have to assume that these are going to be like two surfaces that face. So I can't afford to have any little lumps and bumps where these nubs are. Sometimes with vehicles, you can look at it and think, well, that's going to be completely covered up or hidden, so there's no point worrying about the nub too much. But these might fit flush, so for the moment I have to assume that these need to be nice and clean. Let's have a look. What's chat doing? David Sanderson. Bench is currently building 5 Wraith Blades and Belly Roses Chocks. Yum. Well, not as good as a box of miniature heroes, but still yum. And roses aren't as good as Quality Street. Actually, no, I think roses might be better. I'm not sure now. But nowhere near as good as a box of miniature heroes. Reggie Modeler benched. The Kroll the Turtle and Arkan the Cruel waiting for the Goblin to get Mechanicus Grey Rattle Can back in. I had to detol him. Belly Subway Meatballs. Oh, I want Subway Meatball sandwich. Oh, I want a meatball foot long. Oh. Wayne Hayward, Belly Caramel Chocolate Digestives. Oh, bench Legion Stormtroopers Imperial Assault General Vice. Oh, Caramel Chocolate Digestives. Oh, I've got some Golden Crunch Cream downstairs, but you know, like I've said in the past, over the last few years, I've developed this thing where I can't eat pies anymore because the pastry gives me rampant acid heartburn. It seems to have gone the same way with biscuits as well. If I eat handful of biscuits now, I just get acid from hell within about an hour. I just get maximum sadness. But for Golden Crunch creams, I would potentially say it's worth it, but you never know. I could live on Subway, says David Sanderson. Yeah, you wouldn't live long, but you'd live. It'd be a good life. Star Wars Legion BX Droid, says Robert Powell. And coffee. Yes. Raging says Goblin, that's Goblin Gaming. I've been talking about their gaming centre again, but I feel that's because Geek Retreat is open for D&D, Magic, Pokemon, etc. Yeah, the good thing about Goblin Gaming is they are kind of really conscientious about their customers. They're not just gonna open for gaming because money. They're gonna make sure that it's safe to do so. The guys that they know what they're doing. They're not just gonna randomly open and screw the consequences. Now, I don't know if these bits are visible, but I can't assume they are not. So I'm going to have to get rid of this mould line down the middle, which is kind of annoying. But that's the thing with Warhammer stuff is you tend to end up building more than one. The beauty of it is the first one, you have to go all out and get rid of all the little mould lines and seam lines and nubs and everything and get them looking really great because you don't know what goes where. Once you've built one, you know the next time which bits you can just not worry about because they're invisible. You can be like, well, that bit never gets seen, so it doesn't really matter if I don't get rid of the seam line or the mould line. Because no one's going to see it, ever. And George knows I do intend on doing weathering and all his Space Marine stuff. None of his Space Marine stuff will be nice and clean. So I've also got, for bits that are underneath, like undercarriages of vehicles, a bit more freedom there to not worry too much about clean up. Because when I get ready, when I get doing on them, I'll be doing the opposite of clean up. Mark 3Bs is in. Fox, no joke. I had acid after that. Next thing, I had my gallbladder out. Acid after what? Dude, what did you have acid after? After what? Are you trying to tell me that I might need to not go into hospital and not die or something? I'm sure it's just old age for me. I don't even know what a gallbladder is or where it would be. Eating pies and biscuits. Oh, right, okay. Well, hopefully that's not the case for me. It's just old age. Or poor diet, probably more likely. But we shall see. Thank you for the warning. I shall keep that in mind. And now basically I'll just panic every time I eat a pie or a biscuit. Yeah. Right. Time for some filing. Lost Medlock. Bench Age of Sigmar figures. Belly last night's reheated beef curry. Oh, yes, but we need to know the details. We need to know what kind of curry and what was in it. What else did you have with it? And all the information we need. I really want beef curry now. Into Zone 88, working on Mechanicus Crane. That sounds like a character. Sounds like Ichabod Crane. Mechanicus Crane, brother of Ichabod Crane. Oh, right. On right side under ribcage, produces bile to break down fatty foods. Ended up with stones. Ugh. Yeah, I don't want that. Note to the universe. I don't need any of that crap. Just keep things ticking over. There you go. I'm on a low-fat diet at the moment, though, because my cholesterol's too high. Doctor's like, yeah, you need to go on a low-fat diet. Okay. Which I've kind of failed at the moment, because Mama Fox has been poorly ill for the last few weeks. Of course, there's been times when it's like she's not been hungry, so there's no point in me making her dinner because she's not going to eat anything, or she might have a slice of toast. I'm like, I'll just order Chinese for myself. There you go. Oops, I've had KFC. Ugh. Although I have to tell you, it's getting better. It's getting better there, you know. For lunch occasionally, I will have like a bowl of 5-bean salad and roll mop herring. That's pretty good. But I have to tell you, I did order KFC the other day. And they messed up my order. They messed up my order massively, but I was actually fine with it. It was the best mess up ever, because what I ordered like the boneless box thing, you know, 3 strips of chicken balls and chips, and I got chips and a gravy and a garlic butter sauce. And I ordered that and a couple of bits for Mama Fox because she just wanted some chips or something. So I ordered that, and what I got was basically everything that I ordered and 2 big massive chicken burgers. I don't know what they were because I never had any burgers, but 2 big massive chicken burgers that were like, I think it was like chicken and thing and cheese or something. Like it was chicken and I can't remember what's the word I'm thinking of. Hash brown. I think it was like chicken and a hash brown and cheese or something. I don't know. I could be wrong, but it was like just like a whole 2 extra burgers in here. So I checked the receipt and thought, did I order these by accident? No. Cool. So basically, when they're packing my order, they've taken some other poor bugger's order and he's ordered like 2 massive chicken burgers and just stuck it in my bag by mistake. Now, I could have done the good thing and phoned up and said, hey, you've given me somebody else's sandwiches. But there's no point, because they won't know who it's from until that person calls up and says, where's my goddamn sandwiches? But it's not like they're going to come around to my house and pick up the sandwiches and then take them to the other person, is it? I just ate them. I ate them with my face. Well, I ate one of them, because I had my own dinner, don't forget, so I had to eat my own stuff. So I ate my own stuff, and then I had one of them. I thought, well, they're just going to get thrown away, because they're not going to... Nothing going to happen. So I ate one of them, and then the next one, for some reason, I didn't eat it, because I'd obviously eaten a lot by that point. I left it there, and in the morning, when it was about lunchtime, about 11 o'clock, half 11, I got the munchies, so I ate that, just cold. I was sick as a dog that night. I don't know whether it's because I ate that or because I ate that and then had a big dinner later on, but something didn't sit right with me all the rest of that day. I'm like, oh. So my advice to you is don't eat cold KFC from the night before. That's probably what didn't do me any favours. But they were quite nice. But yeah, they completely messed my order up and I was completely fine with it. Roll mop herring is not good. You are a heretic. You are kidding me. It's delicious. It's sweet and everything. When it's in the stuff with the little bits of onion and stuff, and it's all sweet and tasty. I love it. The ones we've got, it's actually all chopped up into little bits, so I can just blomp that out into a bowl of 5-bean salad. Raw mop herring is lovely, and it's full of fish particles and happiness fluids for the low-fat nonsense. I have to eat low-fat, don't I? So when I'm not eating my KFC or my Chinese noodles and stuff, I have to go low-fat. I've even got, for tonight, I'm making some, I've got some lean turkey. Because I ordered the, Morrison's actually do, if you're on a low-fat diet, by the way, you don't know this, you're in the UK, you know Morrison's do their food boxes. They now do a lean meat food box, which is all just basically different, like bacon and beef and stuff. It's all lean versions. So I ordered that, and they include like lean turkey, and I'm like, how do you have like a low-fat turkey's kind of no fat anyway, and like chicken, lean chicken. It's like, well, I thought chicken and turkey and fowl and bird stuff was kind of low-fat by default because it's the white meat. Lean turkey. I'm like, really? Okay. But we're not having that tonight. Tonight we're having some heck chicken sausages with Fox's mess, which is my concoction that I make that takes no time at all and seems like cooking but isn't. But Mama Fox likes Fox's mess, so, and I enjoy Fox's mess as well. So I keep making it because it's simple, like me. No, it's not. It's fishy misery in a jar. You're just a heathen. I'm not a big fan of. I don't really like fish that much. I hate salmon because salmon is boring and tedious and middle class. But I like tuna and I like raw mop herring. And I think it's because I like tuna because you get it on pizza. I think I like raw mop herring because it doesn't taste like fish. I think that's pretty much it. They don't taste like fish, really. I like anchovies. Although I think they're more like insects than fish. I'm not really sure about that. But again, that's because they're on pizzas. So, but actual fish, I would like fish, except I hate farting about trying to avoid bones. I just find that tedious and annoying. It's like, I need to move my chair a bit. Why do I want food that I have to disassemble? I just want to lift up the food, apply it to my mouth hole, and then go away happy. I don't want to be picking bits out and having bones and things everywhere. Hey, those chicken burger sandwiches were missing from my order, says Candygram. Go! Well, your problem is not with me, your problem is with KFC. That's the other thing. There'd be no point me letting them know anyway. Like I said, if I'd said, hey, you've given me somebody else's sandwiches, they'd be like, okay, thanks. And then they put the phone down. Then they get a call from them saying, hey, you dipsticks, you forgot my sandwiches. And they say, okay, we'll send some out. There's no point. They might have charged me for them, I suppose, I don't know. Although I don't think most places would charge you for something they put in your order by mistake that you hadn't ordered. I ordered a fish sandwich and you've sent me 500 chicken burgers. Okay, just have them. Cool. Team Inept says, tuna on pizza? Now, how can I ban you from your own channel? Tuna pizza's great. Tuna's awesome. You're such a total heathen, you. I don't know. No, I've tried, says Chris. Yeah. Roll mop is Swedish for out of date, says Team Inept. You've clearly never had the right roll mop. The roll mop I always have is always in that like sweet. It's in like sweet brine with little tiny bits of onion and some herbs and stuff that make it taste really sweet and tasty. Tuna is awesome, but not on a pizza. Yes, it is. It's awesome on pizza. Tuna and anchovy and meatballs and cheese and sausage and bacon and ground beef. All of those things and all those wow words. All of those things are brilliant on pizza at the same time. I'm sure I've seen roll mops on QVC. That's a different kind of roll mop. Do. Now I really want pizza. You know what I've had to eat today? I've had 1 cup of coffee. This is my 2nd cup of coffee. And I've had 2 crisps. Not 2 packets of crisps. Literally 2 crisps. John Paul. Welcome, John. Almost closed my channel last week. Was getting nasty messages because I won't do group builds. I wouldn't close your channel because of nasty comments or messages. Just block the people that send you nasty messages. I don't even know what a group build is anyway. You mean like I don't understand why a YouTube channel should do group build? It's up to you what you do on your channel, dude. If you've got a YouTube channel, you do what you want to do, and if somebody's not happy with that, then they can go off and watch someone else. Your channel, you do what you want. If somebody gives you crap for it, you just block them. They're clearly morons. I've been very lucky in all my time that I've had literally maybe, I can count the number of crappy comments I've had on one hand, basically. Right, gluing times. It's a while since I've done some gluing. So we need to have this one here, like this, you'll see. Part 6 and 7, 67. Two fat ladies, 46 something, I don't know. And that one goes there. That clearly attaches in a way, somehow. That goes there, and that goes... I see. I understand now, he says, not understanding. That goes like that, you see? And then this goes in here like this, you see? Somehow. No. There we go. That's more better, I think. That's how it goes there. Let's find out. Dude, so what is Fox? Eon's car says, "It's a me, Eon's car has arrived." So long, Gay Bowser. Eon's car, what is Fox building? I am building finally, the Chimeris Repulsor. The one thing that everybody who got this part work wanted over everything else. Teaming Up says 9% of the crappy comments are from me anyway. That's true. Or John Paul says people should grow up. The golden rule of YouTube is if you actually give a crap about what people say on your channel, you won't last long on YouTube. You have to just ignore it. There's simple. It sounds really harsh to say it. You have to just ignore it. The simple thing you do is you just block and ban people who are idiots. Right, I've lost what I'm doing already again now. 66, 67. So that needs to be there. Oh, it's confusing this now. Yeah, if you're sensitive about people saying nasty things on YouTube, you'll last about 5 minutes. You have to survive on YouTube. You have to have the attitude of whatever, whatever. Somebody criticise you, somebody criticises your content. I mean, criticising content is fine. Never let it be said that people don't have the right to criticise your content. They can tell you your content's bad. They can tell you if there's issues with it. That's fine. Somebody says to me, "Hey Fox, I don't like this about the way you make videos, but have you thought about doing this, or here's some suggestions for you?" Then I'd be like, "Okay, cool, that's great. That's constructive criticism. Thank you very much. That's helpful. Thank you." If somebody says, "Blah, blah, blah, your content sucks, and just doesn't say anything helpful, then I just block them. Or "you suck, blah, blah, blah," then I just block them. Because, that's not helpful criticism. There's a great big nub there. Wow. Yeah, but there's, unfortunately, you can't be sensitive about being on YouTube. I see too many people that have channels, and the golden rule of having a YouTube channel is that your viewers do not give a flying crap about any of the nonsense that goes on behind the scenes. Who's shouting at who's falling out with what, all the politics of it. Your viewers don't care. Your viewers are there to watch you do whatever you do. They don't care if you've fallen out with X or somebody said something that was nasty and therefore, or whatever. They really don't care. That's not why they're watching your content. So you need to just be like, whatever. Somebody says something, if somebody offers you criticism on your content, then either accept it as criticism that maybe you need to address, like maybe they've got a valid point, or just block them if they're just being an arse. There's always room for valid criticism. None of us are perfect. somebody shows me a way I can do things better, I will take that on board. I'll be like, brilliant, thank you for that. But I've been lucky. I've had, like, you know, a handful of crappy comments over the years. All my viewers are awesome people. Not liking that at all. That nub is in a really nasty place. Then you message you on Facebook with nasty comments, then you block them. You just literally block them and don't give it a second thought. You literally just don't even think about it. How does this even go in now? I've got no idea how this is supposed to fit together, like that maybe? It's very tenuous. There's no actual sort of locating pins for this. It's just kind of just line it up. Yeah, never keen on that kind of shenanigan, to be perfectly honest. Just line it up. I may fall out with this build. Just line it up, huh? Do. See, there's no pins. This literally just sits in there like that. But how do you know when it's in correct if it's not in too high or too low? I'd hate to glue it all in and get it in place and suddenly find that it's too high up and the other bits won't go on top. That would kind of suck. How can I tell if I've been blocked? Can anyone see this? Says Chris at Gross Models. No, you're not blocked, dude. In's car says, so belly pulled pork with barbecue sauce and wraps around the bench, 3 bases for the SM suppressors and a greater possessed. Awesome. I don't like it when you talk about nasty tasting fish on your channel. You suck, you smelly poo poo, says Paul at Team Inept. It's a valid criticism. I'll take that. I'll take that on board. I'll ignore it, but I'll take it on board. Yeah, see, that doesn't line up there properly, and it's like, I can have that bit line up or that bit line up. I don't trust this part. This build is confusing me already. There's pieces that just don't seem to. There's a lot of taking it on faith here in this build so far. We've not even got past the first bit. No. You don't gain nothing for something. I don't know. You gain. I don't know what the words are now. This needs to go like that. I shall just dive in belly first and see what happens. I managed to build it, Fox, as David Sanderson, so you defo can. I'm sure it'll be fine. It's just, it seems a bit tenuous. Like, which bit do I need to line up? The bottom bit or the top bit? Is one more important than the other? I don't know what goes on top of the top bit, you see. Is it supposed to stick up a little bit? Is it supposed to stick flush? Well, let's just glue it and find out. Let's just quit fartassing about and just glue the thing in. Glue it. Come on, glue it together. Yeah. Yes, you have to have a thick skin to do YouTube. It's not a place to be delicate. But the most important thing you have to do is kind of just ignore everything. Make what you want to make, do what you want to do. And if somebody doesn't like it, well, that's entirely their choice. And if they give you crap for it, you just block them. The one thing you don't do is respond. Somebody sends you a shitty comment or message, you just delete it and block them. You don't actually bother engaging them. Because if somebody's that stupid that they're going to waste their time going onto Facebook or YouTube to complain to a creator about their content in an inane and pointless way, then they're clearly an idiot anyway. So, you know, it's their time they're wasting, not yours. You just delete it and there you go, bang, done. Never hear from them again. Swig of coffee. Just looked up roll mops. I don't think I'll be hungry for the rest of the day now. The wiki page shows a plate of them on a Christmas Eve table, presumably in front of someone who was bad. Or if you've never tasted a roll mop, trust me, they don't taste like you expect them. They don't taste like anything you would expect. They're sweet. They're like a sweet. It's kind of hard to explain. I don't like fish, but I like roll mops. Clearly, there's something going on there. It's probably some kind of big fish conspiracy, isn't it? I know. It's all controlled by big fish. I'm going to assume that's acceptable. So, more parts. We have 72 and 73. Are they like Swiss rolls? Yeah, Swiss roll made of fish. No, it's just chunks of fish. Sometimes they're rolled up with a stick through them. Sometimes they're not. If you have a problem with your work, fine. It's their problem, not yours. Yeah, absolutely. You just have to, if you're going to do YouTube or any kind of creative, any kind of content like stuff like YouTube or anything else, you just have to have the mindset of, I'm doing what I enjoy. I don't give a crap if you like it or not. If you don't like it, fine. Bye. And then never think about them again. 72 and 73. 72 and also 73. There's 73. 72. All the way around here, boy. 72. Do that. Yeah, but the number of channels I've seen, like I say, where I've watched live streams where half of the live stream is the person kind of going on about how someone said something nasty to them and blah blah blah, and it's like, you just have to grow a thick skin, dude, because the people don't want to watch that. 73. It's back on this one, isn't it? Or is it? 73. Yeah, when I watch someone stream, I watch them to get distracted from real life. I don't watch them to hear their woes. So just don't engage them. Don't get involved. It's not a constructive and valid criticism. Just block them. If they then message on Facebook, just block them. They'll soon go away. Because like I say, it's their time they're wasting, not yours. Best thing to do with chuds, ignore them. If you give them attention, it's feeding the troll. If you don't give them attention, they get bored and go away. Because you're not giving them the fun they want. Simple as that. But I've been very, like I say, I've been very lucky. You know, majority of comments I get are awesome. I don't think I've actually had any. You know, I've had a couple of run-ins with people, but nothing that I lose sleep over. Because at the end of the day, if you make a video and put it on YouTube, okay, and somebody says that's horrible, I don't like it, it's fine. There's literally 7 billion other people on the planet who could potentially watch it. So, you know, thanks. Bye. When you first start out, you take every kind of thing like that personally. You're like, oh no, someone doesn't like it, and after a while, you realise there's literally 7 billion other people on this planet. One person's not going to make that much difference. I mean, if they're as if they're being a chud about it, if they're being a troll about it. You know, you can't assume that all criticism is troll criticism. Some criticism is valid. You know, I've been in contact with people and said, you know, who've got like, somebody's making videos, but the video quality is terrible because he's using a potato camera. And I've said, listen, I love your stuff, but please, can you just get a decent camera? Here's some suggestions. Here's how you can improve that. And they're like, okay, cool, brilliant, thanks. Not me being a troll. I'm trying to give them advice to help them make better videos. So you shouldn't just assume that all criticism is troll criticism. There is valid criticism out there. There are a lot of things I watch even if I don't build them, says John Paul. Yep. I watch loads of stuff that I don't actually have an interest in. I absolutely adore Craftsman. Yet I have no desire or interest in moulding things or any of the stuff he actually makes. There's no interest of me at all. No, absolutely no interest whatsoever. But I do love Craftsman. Hello, welcome to the Craftsman Show. just because I like to watch his content. It doesn't matter what he's doing. He could be just like, he could be sorting clothes pegs for all I care. It's about the content and what the content gives people. But yeah, if somebody doesn't like your stuff, fine. Go and tell them to go and, you know. In fact, don't tell them anything. Just if they're being an arse about it, you just block them and ignore them. Do. You can't unfortunately be sensitive to these things in anything like YouTube or any kind of Twitch or anything like that. You just can't be sensitive. It's not something you can afford to do. Doesn't matter who you are and what you do. There'll always be somebody out there that just likes to just give you crap, basically, because that's the kind of chud they are. There's always people like that. You ain't going to get rid of them. Right, something's rattling on my desk. I don't know what it is, but it's... Is it the microphone? Let me just jam the microphone in place a bit more. Hello, my name is... Oh, I just read that out wrong. Paul, Team and Ep says, hello, my name is your host, the Craftsman. I can't do the Craftsman voice. Nor would I even assume to be able to. Yeah, but I just love watching his content. And there's other channels as well, you know, that I just... The content itself, regardless of what the content is about, just the presentation. I like the presentation. You know, there's a channel called Voices of the Past where he just reads historical documents. You know, accounts of things written by people in history. And I don't necessarily have any interest in that specific subject matter. But the way he reads them is quite captivating. You know, the sound of his voice, the way he reads them out, the way he flexes the words. It just makes it interesting to listen to and fascinating to watch. And I'm learning something at the same time. Yeah, it doesn't really matter to me sometimes what the content is. Darren 20, I always get this wrong. Darren 20159. Darren is in the house. Welcome, Darren. How the diddly do are you, Darren? It must be unfair because I can't imagine setting up a YouTube channel ain't easy. I can imagine, sorry. Not really. Setting up a channel is not that hard. Figuring out the things you need to do to get monetized and everything else is hard because YouTube's help documents are absolute garbage. YouTube is like other branches of Google. The worst question you can ask about any Google property is, how do I... Because then you just go off on an adventure of despair and unhappiness. Google and their help documents, their help files and pages and things, they're a bit like a consultant. If you've ever worked in like an office environment, especially call centres, then you may be aware of the idea of a consultant. For example, I've worked in several call centres where at some time or other they've had someone, say, from KPMG or PricewaterhouseCoopers come in and they do an assessment of the call centre and how it's run. And that's what they're consulting. They're having a look and see where they can improve things and make some cost savings and so on and so on. And the two things about consultants you have to understand is, one, there'll always be redundancies because they're there to try and, you know, trim the fat and improve the way things run. People will get fired. It's just the way things are. So if ever you're in an office and the consultants come in, just start planning in case you lose your job. But secondly, swig of coffee. The second thing they'll do is they will tell their clients half of the things they need to know. That's how consultants do. If you go into a business and you tell them everything they need to know, then they'll implement all that and you'll never hear from them again. If you go into a business and you give them half the information, then they'll implement that, and then later on they'll be like, hey, we've done that, but we're still not getting this, that and the other, and then what they'll do is they'll pay you to go back and give them the other half of the information. So it's a trick of the consultant. Never tell the client everything all at the same time in one go. Otherwise, you know, if you're there to improve their business and you improve their business, you've done your job, they'll never contact you again. More of these little tiny pins and holes. I don't like this attachment method. It's not giving me great confidence. The trick of being a consultant is to give half the information, just enough that the client is like, brilliant, now I'll go and improve my business. but not quite enough that they don't have to call you back to go back and do more. And I can't remember why I was talking about that. Scaly Models. Hi folks, quick pop in, so I hope everyone is well. No live stream today, live things going on. Take care, Dad, lovely to see you, buddy. Hope you and he are okay. Hope everything's going okay for you, mate. If you need to chat, give me a shout on the Facebooks. But take care of yourself. Give it a bit of fudge from me. And I'll see you soon, buddy. Right, so this now needs to attach to the flooring area. Best wishes, Dad, says Chris at Gross Models. I noticed YouTube isn't screwing up with the subs, says John Paul. Oh, YouTube's been broken for years. Ever since the adpocalypse. Right, so this has an actual tab and an actual socket. Yay! That loosely fits. Oh. Because it has a hole there and a tab here. That's it. You just have to hope it's lined up properly. Do you know? I don't know. I'm having thoughts here. Thoughts about this particular model. I'm sure there'll be a assuage when I've actually built it and it looked kick-ass, but yes. I thought we'd gotten past the making models not like anybody else. Games Workshop. That looks alright. I'm kind of coming off the back of like Lehman Russes and the Stormwolf gunship, where they're kind of, there's no ambiguity about how they go together. They just go together and perfectly, and this has got a bit of ambiguity about it, but I'm sure it'll be fine. Excuse me. Yeah, John, don't take it the wrong. I'm not trying to be have a go at you for the way I'm saying things, and I'm trying to say you've got to man up and take the knocks. I'm not kind of being like that, but it is one of those environments where you can't be kind of precious about it, really. YouTube. I've seen people get tied up in knots. He said this and she said that, and now they're doing this, and they said something about me in a group, and I'm like, why do you care? Make your videos. People that like your stuff will watch your stuff. People that don't like your stuff will go away if you just ignore them. I need to clear my throat. One sec. There we go. Oh, yes. Oh. Yeah, I'm not trying to be obstreperous. I'm just being kind of sharply realistic in that you need to have that expectation, set that expectation that it can be harsh. I've had a really good time of it, but it can be harsh. You can get some stick for it. You just have to take it on the chin and let them tire themselves out, and then just ban them. I need 69 here and 68. That is 609. Yeah, that's a stick. And I'm off camera. Apologies. I'll try and get my nippers in there. I thought I'd use my Mr. Hobby, Mr. Tool, Mr. Nippers, Mr. Cutters, Mr. Tools, Mr. Hobby, Mr. I'll try. It means I can get the camera in a bit closer. And need 68. I'm kind of bored of these parts already. I've got to be honest with you. These repulsor drive bits. Not enjoying this bit. This is boring. I'm bored with these already. This is the chaos spawn of vehicle bits. Not like the Stormwolf where everything was fun. I must do another Stormwolf at some point. I had so much fun making that. It looks so min. When I do start building stuff for my own army again, which I will get round to eventually. One of the reasons I stopped was because I'm doing this. One of the reasons was I kind of lost the focus as to what I was going to paint my army to look like. I started off with the Unending Forces of the Holy Contrivance, which was a Xeon-themed Warhammer army. I kind of got bored of that idea. And I've got all these Tempesta sounds now, and I was going to paint them like Char with like red uniform and white gloves and boots and silver helmets. I kind of don't want to do that now. I don't know. But no idea. I was in the middle of saying so. I lost my thread there. I can't remember what I was saying now. I don't know where I was going with that. I had a point that I was going to make, but I've long forgotten it. Oh yes, I will do some Space Wolf stuff. Space puppy. Oh, what itch. Oi. Because I do quite fancy building up a little squad of the space puppies. Space wolves. My local ice cream man, I don't know if you can hear it outside. He's gone from Lily Mar Lane, a World War II German song about a prostitute, as his ice cream van music. He's now doing the Monty Python General Bogey March. And it's kind of annoying. And you know what? It's annoying. You know what I miss about ice cream vans? In the old days, right? In the old days, you had an ice cream van, and the music it will play will be a recording of some twinkly twinkly music performed on like a little thing made of metal or something. They'd have like a thing with bells in it, and they'd record that and stick it on a tape, and there'd be a tape player in the van, and they'd press the button and it'd play the music. But it was like a copy of 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 a copy, a millionth generation, and they'd be terrible. They'd be distorted and noisy and crackly and horrible. Nowadays, it's just a little chip, and it's like almost like answer phone music. It's just lifeless bleeps and bloops, and it's not the same. If it doesn't sound distorted and horrible, it's not the same. I mustn't sing that. Scale Model Muse, welcome Muse, says, I might be here, looks at the chat with one eye open, yawns. Welcome, Muse. Good morning, good afternoon, everyone, says William Rayborn. Welcome, William. How are you doing, my friend? James Chapman, going on with comments from people on YouTube. I've had a few try and put me down by saying that I should not be promoting anything but genuine Lego sets because they're apparently knockoffs. It's their opinion. Your response to that is, okay. At the end of the day, copyright expired on Lego. Lego didn't, not copyright, the patent expired. Lego didn't renew it, so Lego no longer have the legal ownership of the stud and whole design. So anybody can basically make Lego. They can't call it Lego. So anybody can make a Lego sort of style construction set. What they can't do, of course, is take a Lego set and rip it off and do look. Oh, look! It's a not Lego Star Wars X-wing. That's copyright theft. So if you're making like a knockoff Lego set, then yeah, you don't want to do that because people will get upset by that. But if you're just making a Lepin set that's not actually a rip-off of an existing Lego set, like Mega Bloks, prime example, Mega Bloks are garbage, but they're not. It's the Lego building system, but they're not making Lego stuff. There's nothing wrong with them. It's a tricky one, though. I mean, I would... It's like people that do bootleg Gunpla. I wouldn't watch that. I don't wish to support bootleg Gunpla. If it's stuff that's Lego that's been ripped off, if it's a rip-off of a Lego set, then yeah, that's kind of not cool. But if it's not, then you're fine. But again, at the end of the day, they don't have to watch your content. If they don't want to watch it, don't watch it. I don't know how much of this is visible. It's a big mould line right down the middle, but I don't know how much of that is going to be visible. I don't want to sit there and clean it all up if it all just vanishes under a bit of cowling. It vanishes under a bit of cowling, I think. Oh yeah, it goes under a cowl. There we go. There's a big seam line there, but it totally goes under the wall, the side wall, so not really bothered about that. William Rayborn, what are you building now? Doing okay? Still recovering from Hurricane Sally? Oh, dude, take care, mate. I'm building the Primaris Repulsor. Big floaty tank. Well, yeah, if you're just recovering from that, take care. Hope you're doing okay, mate. Hope you're not being impacted too much. I built one of those 2 weeks ago. The end result was great, but repulsor bits, yeah. I'm not enjoying these repulsor bits. That was Robert Powell. People should take all social media with a pinch of salt. I was in a Kit Bash Starship group and there were so many idiots in there who only wanted Star Trek builds that I just said bye. What goes on to these repulsor bits anyway? I'm trying to look at where I can not have to sit and like glue a billion things to a billion other things. Okay, they totally go into little holes. So I don't need to worry too much about these ends here. As long as they're flat for going it thole. I even had someone put a bad comment because my little girl was crying in the background, says James Chapman. Well, you know, hey. I mean, if it's not a live stream, it's a pre-recorded video, then it's not an invalid criticism, I would say, because ultimately you want to make the best content. Where's my brush gone? You want to make the best content you can. If you're asking people to watch your stuff, then it's reasonable they expect that you put your effort into making the content. But it depends on the content you're making. If it's a live stream, there's nothing you can do about that. They can just shut up. If it's a pre-recorded video, like like one of my how-to videos, then that's something I'll probably edit out or reshoot or something. But again, it depends on, and it's the way they do it as well. If they're just being trolls, they're just being trolls. Just ignore them. So if they're just saying, hey man, great video, but it was distracting with the your child in the background, then you can't ignore that. It's still a valid criticism. But like I say, if it's a live stream, there's nothing much you can do about that. Then it's their problem. But to anybody out there that's doing YouTube, I would say, it's not possible to make the best content in the world, all the time. It's not easy. My content's got a lot of problems. My content's got a lot of issues. I'm not any expert in the matter at all. But I would just say, you are asking people to invest their time in your content so that you can benefit from it. So you do want to make sure that you're pulling out as many stops as you can to give them good quality stuff to watch. And the thing you need to understand is that, I can't get that out. The thing you need to understand is, especially on YouTube, if your content sucks, you're not going to get the views. People will just drift away from it straight away. You have to be quite aware of ways to improve your content, because it's the MTV generation issue. People have got fickle tastes and even like ridiculously short attention spans. If you give someone a reason not to like your content, it will take them 10 seconds, 20 seconds to decide that. And then they'll never come back. So it's always worth listening to criticism. And like I said, unless it's just framed in a trolly way, in which case just block them. But it's always worth listening to someone's criticism, because they might be saying something that will benefit you. But it's also worth making sure you can do everything you possibly can to make the best content you can. If you're filming something like not live and something happens or whatever, there's a distraction in the background, if you're able to, just stop filming, go and deal with whatever, and then come back and start again. Because it's all about telling the viewer that you're committed to making the content for them that they want to watch. A number of times I go into a channel and I watch something and it's somebody holding the phone like that to film, and they can't be bothered mounting it onto anything. You could just duct tape it to a cereal box, doesn't really matter. They've not mounted the phone to anything. It's dark, you can't see anything. They've not bothered trying to get decent sounding audio. They just turn on their camera phone and talk, and then and everything you put between you and the viewer, the content and the viewer, is something that's going to lose you that viewer. Because, like I say, there's a billion channels on YouTube, and if I go into a channel and very quickly have an issue with the content, I'm never going to go back to it. Oh, there's the ice cream van again. I really want an ice cream now. Oh. There's lots of channels that I watch, and I'm a creator. I make things on YouTube, and I always try and make the best possible content. Whether I succeed, that's up to you to tell me. I don't. I know all the flaws in my content. I need a piece of tissue. I know all the flaws in my content that I either know how to fix, but I can't yet, or whatever. But I'm just as susceptible as everyone else. I will go onto a channel, and if I within 20 seconds, I'll know if I'm never going to watch that channel again. There's a few channels that, they just rub me up the wrong way, and I will happily admit, and it's a shame to admit it, but I have to admit it, I'm not going to lie to you. There are channels where I can't watch the content because of the person's voice. There's one or two channels where just the way someone is speaking puts me off watching it. But that's an issue. That's mine. That's down to me. It's not down to them. It's not their fault. That's just down to me. But there are one or two, there's channels where it might be a channel about something I'm interested in. How the hell does this apply now? It might be a channel about something in which I'm interested, but the way that person presents it puts me off. Like, I watch a lot of gaming channels. Okay, that's kind of cool. I watch a lot of gaming channels. I watch a lot of channels that deal with video game subjects, let's say. And unfortunately, a lot of channels seem to have lapsed into the look at the camera with a pair of headphones on and go, hey, and it's like, what the hell? Just talk like a normal person. Anybody that starts a video with, hey, what up YouTube? I instantly just stop. Never go back. Hey, what up YouTube? It's like, oh God, just talk normally. I mean, I waffle on at top speed and stuff, but I've never understood this thing of wearing headphones when you're doing a YouTube video. Why do you need to hear yourself? I mean, if you're playing a game, that I understand, because I do that myself. But when they're just doing a piece to camera, they're just talking about something, and yet they wear the headphones. It's like, why are you doing that? Why are you wearing these headphones now? It's not like you're going to get your microphone picking up you speakers while you're speaking, because why would you have your speakers pumping out you speaking as you're speaking? It makes no sense. Well, that's not an issue, but that, it's that kind of channel. And there's a few where just like the way the person starts, like, hey, with it, and it's like, oh, or just a lot of times it's because they have this habit. A lot of channels like that. For example, this is one thing that will put me off straight away. Clickbaity titles. Instantly turn off. Don't even try it. Having the kind of thing where they have a subject for the video, and for the first 10 minutes they do everything except talk about the subject for the video, and then they talk about the subject of the video and it's like a minute, and then they go off, and it's like, really? Because that's just insulting. And the one thing I can't stand, which sadly actually works for YouTubers, but I can't stand it, is where you have the thumbnail is the picture of the person with some dumbass expression on their face and a picture of whatever they're talking about. And there's no reason for their face to be on there. It could be a video about the Xbox Series X, or it could be a video about, I don't know, deep sea fishing off the Guatemalan coast. It could be anything. I don't even know if Guatemala has a coast, but and yet they have like their face, like a stupid expression photograph of them in the thumbnail, and it's like, now unfortunately, it's been shown that actually helps views. It attracts viewers because there's a lot of morons out there. Clearly, I hate it. I will never do that. I don't care if it gives views or not. It looks dumb, and it's a cheesy way to get pointless views. I don't want people to watch my videos because to get the figures up. I want people to watch my videos because they enjoy my content and because I'm teaching them something and they want to learn and they feel they are learning. Yeah, Guatemala has 2 coasts on either side of it, says Weebadoodles. Hey Weebadoodles. So yeah, they'll like reaction face in your thumbnail, instantly not going to watch your video. This is not a well-fitting piece, but I'm sure it'll be fine. I mean, luckily I don't have to worry about wheels not touching the ground with this, because it's a repulsor tank, so thank the maker. Now this goes on there like that, I assume. Never assume really, but sometimes you do. Just clean those up there. So yeah, so I'm I'm a creator on YouTube, and yet I am just as susceptible as everybody else to being instantly turned off watching someone's content just by simple things they might say or do. And it's impossible to deny, that even the way someone talks or sounds in real life, I would be beside myself with self-hatred if I despised someone because of the way they talk. I'd never do that in real life. But when it's on YouTube, I don't know, it's weird. And I don't mean like, somebody talks and they've got like a speech impediment. I mean, somebody who talks and they do that stupid, hey, what a boo, is it? And it's like, just talk like a normal human being. You don't talk like that to your mother. You don't talk like that when you're out and about with your mates. Ugh. Hey, what up, YouTube? I'm just not ever watching your content again. So anybody out there, please don't ever do that. Please don't ever do the hey, what up, YouTube. I still don't get the wearing headphones when you're not actually playing a game thing. That was just stupid. Because like the reason you wear headphones if you're doing a gaming stream, like when I do my Skyrim or my Fallout streams, I wear headphones so I can hear the game audio without having the game audio come through my speakers and into the microphone. That's why I wear a headset or headphones, when I'm playing a game. The important phrase being playing a game. But if I'm sitting there like doing a monologue to camera like I did at the start of this stream, somebody just knocked at the door. I'll go and check it in a second. Like at the start of this stream, what I'm saying into the microphone doesn't come back out of my speakers. So there's absolutely no reason at all for me to have my headphones on, because you're not going to hear in the microphone what's coming out of my speakers. Because the only thing that comes out of my speakers is if you guys do a super chat and it goes, and that's it. Weird. I don't get it. I don't get it. Right, I'm going to quickly go and check what just came through the front door. Give me 1 second. I'm going to put you on the be right back in a minute, and I'll be literally a minute. Back in a sec. Hang on, let me put the... Sorry about that, it was a parcel coming through the front door. A parcel from E-Models for me. Woo! It is actually some streaking grime that I need for the Falcon build, which is perfect because the next step I need to do on the Falcon build will be tomorrow when I need to use some streaking grime. Unfortunately, I ran out of streaking grime just before I started filming, so I didn't even realise they did Sunday deliveries from E-Models. So cool. Thanks for the guys at E-Models for sending it out so quickly. Right, so that's that bit done. Repulsor drive. Let's have a quick look at chat. Oh. Where are we up to? Guatemala has coffee, says Spid. Fancy chair, yay, says Muse. Yeah, Nim's got a new GT Racer gaming chair in blue. Worst group I've ever been in, says Raging Modeler, was a bass guitar group. What a bunch of twonks. Yeah, bassists are rubbish. I used to get some fun inbox messages on my other YouTube channel, says Muse. I get a lot of stick for only getting builds up to primer, but I can do without that negativity. I just say I can do all the painting when I retire, lol. At the end of the day, like I said before, you do what you enjoy doing, and if somebody doesn't like it, that's their problem. If somebody says, well, why don't you paint them? I don't enjoy doing that. This is what I do. Deal with it. Deal with it. DWI. I build mostly cars and do a lot of how-tos and go live with my son. I've been building for 50 plus years and do a lot of scratch building, says John Paul. Cool! But however, first of all, if you're not in it already, I don't know if you are, I'll put a thing in chat. If you're not in it already, do join the Model Makers Boom Hut. It's a super space, safe environment for friendly, feedback, and you'll make lots of camaraderie and friends and stuff in there. Model making groups, my group, I own it, it's mine. It's super safe. If you're not in there, you might be in there already, I don't know. I think you might be, actually. But if you're not, go and join it. Post up your stuff, hang out, make some friends. But yeah, the end of the day, if you're enjoying what you're doing, just ignore them. Just if someone's like, "Oh my god, your content is mimicking," just shut up. If somebody's giving me information how I can improve my content, like, have you thought about this camera? Have you thought about this lighting? Have you considered doing this and that? I'll be like, oh, cool, I never thought of that. Thank you very much. If they're saying, your stuff sucks, blocked. Sometimes I'll do a snarky reply. I used to. I learned fairly quickly. You just don't respond. Don't ever respond to it. Otherwise, it just gets them worked up. Good afternoon and welcome to Old Man Shouts at Cloud, says Team Inept. Yes. In this video, 4 things Games Workshop doesn't want you to know. Yeah. Oh god, yeah. Weebadoodle says, "Hey up, how you doing?" That's my Borderlands reference. Hey up, apart from the t-shirt I'm wearing, obviously, as well. Speaking of YouTube, asks Michael Freeland. Hey Michael, are there any Paul Pluta fans? Please do not do all the YouTube stuff. Your channel is good enough. I'd never heard of Paul Pluta. I have to look now. Yeah, no, anybody that goes, yo, what up, YouTube? Oh, just what up? It's not even words. Just stop. I really don't get the wearing headphones thing, though. I don't understand it. If they can't set up their systems, they talk into a microphone and it doesn't instantly come back out of their speakers. They don't know what they're doing. I don't mind most things as long as the person I watch is good on the ears and entertains me. Oh, I'm in trouble then, aren't I? Hey, what up, maybe they do, says Spiddy Q8. Oh. There is a guy, B3 says, there's a guy whose content I enjoy, but he shouts all the time. It's very annoying. I do talk a bit loud. I talk really fast, and I'm always constantly trying to consciously not talk so fast, but I do, unfortunately. I can't help myself, but I do. Yeah, people that shout all the time, no. Round's complete for the coffee. Let's move on to the secondary weapons, which is just water. But it's weaponised in a proper beer dimple glass, which is correct. But people that shout all the time. I mean, it's funny now, if I go back and watch my early content, my first few videos, I was filming on an iPhone 5, and I only had the iPhone 5. I didn't have a microphone or anything. And so the phone might be here, you know, where the camera is now recording, and I'm talking, but I had to talk loud so the microphone will pick up me talking. I'm like, hi, it's Fox from Model Making. Rah! Talking top volume. It's like, oh, God. And it's taken me a long time to get out of that habit. So I do talk loud sometimes. If he doesn't come back with, hey, what up, YouTube? I'm going to be so angry, says Team Inept. Well, it's too late now. I don't get watching people play games. Apologies to all those into gaming. But aside from walkthroughs of difficult bits, I don't get watching someone game. I don't like watching someone play sports. Yeah, I mean, I do that. I stream Skyrim or Fallout, but I do it really just because I'm going to be playing the game anyway, and I may as well hang out with my friends and chat while I'm doing it. But yeah, I wouldn't personally watch gaming streams because I'd rather play the game. Weebadoodle says, I find it enjoyable, plus I can't afford most games, so watching someone play through a game to see if it's worth actually spending money on, lol. You'd never do that with me because it'd take me like 6 years to finish a game, so... Or I'd get frustrated at the first boss and just delete it. I rather like it, especially Fallout 4, says Michael Freeland. Thank you very much. Talking of Grime Fox, I got given some weathering pencils. You've got any experience of them, asks Steve. No. Never used them. I'm sure they're fine. I've tried using coloured pencils, proper normal coloured pencils once for some weathering the streaks and stuff, and they were alright. They're very faint, it's very transparent, but you know, it was alright. Don't mind spoilers, blah blah blah, says Weebadoodles. I get different experiences from playing a game. Paul Dismaster. Hey Paul, welcome Paul, hope you're doing okay buddy. Paul Dismaster says to Paul at Team Inept, I guess you're pissed off because Fox didn't do the line. I'm already a member of your Facebook page, says John Paul. Not my page, but the Model Makers Boom Hut group, if that's what you mean. The Model Makers Boom Hut is an actual group. There's like 4,000 people in there now. It's you can actually post up your stuff and stuff. My page is just my page. Nobody ever looks at my page. Robert Powell says, are you excited to get painting your Plague Army? I will be when it gets round to it, because I'm not going to paint them Death God Green. I know. I've got a different colour scheme in mind. Can't wait because it's all weathering. But I'll have to paint all the Space Marines first because George is getting the Space Marines, because he's helped fund this. He gets his stuff first, basically. So I have to put him first, and then I can make my stuff. The worst live stream I ever saw was when the host left us to get a delivery, lol. Only joking, says Darren. No. I have no issue with you being happy with that. He's an infamous Australian watch expert. Lots of talent but lacks diplomatic skills. Many do watch for entertainment. Oh, okay. You're saying as Australian tells me everything I need to know. There's an American woman who does Gunpla, and I have to turn the volume down before I watch any of her stuff, says Osric. There is one Gunpla presenter who's female, whose name I won't mention. The fact she's female is irrelevant, but just for those who know who it is, I'm not going to say the name, and don't say the name in chat. I don't like criticising other YouTubers, but there is one whose voice I can't listen to it because she just needs to buy a decent microphone, but she's been using the same crappy headset microphone for like 12 years, and it's wearing now. It's wearing really thin. I've stopped watching people for doing silly voices or pulling faces. Drives me mad, says Wayne Hayward. Yeah. I mean, I know I do silly voices sometimes, but that's just because I'm being silly. Mystery Painty Fox Times. As you like Skyrim Fox, have you seen the Elder Scrolls miniatures? Asks Wayne Hayward. I've not made any. I know Chris or Paul has had some. Yes, I have seen them. With their massively thick swords. I'll have to get myself some at some point and paint them up. But I've got so much on my books to paint. I've got all these things to paint for a start. But at some point, I will paint them. I've painted some of the Modiphius Fallout 4 miniatures. If you've never seen them, I painted Nora, a super mutant master, and Dogmeat, because the guys at Modiphius very kindly sent me those 3 to paint up and do a little video of. And said they'd send me more, but they never did. But I'm not going to complain. I need to mark these off as done, don't I? So I'm going to mark this. That's done. That's done. 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 Done, done, done. Oh, I've got more to do. Ooh. More of these things to do. Is that the Archie luxury guy? Peace out, everyone. Oh, peace out, everyone is something a famous gamer says at the end. I can't understand why. It's a typical American slang thing. And I was like, peace. I like... Oh, I forgot the name of the channel. There's one channel that talks about Destiny. I forgot anyway. But he always ends his videos with peace. And I quite like that. Yeah, it's just peace out. It's just like an old hippie way of saying take care, everyone. But for most YouTubers, it's just because they're being a spoon. It's the end credits version of hey, what up, everyone? Is YouTube? Oh, shut up! Speak like a normal person, or a northerner, whichever. Michael Freeland, he recently became a new person and stopped swearing. That's no good, is it? Typical over 30 years ago, says Muse to Michael. Yeah, peace out. It's like a real, yo, peace out, dude. Like a real hippie thing. The worst stream is that gaming one where the host does things really slowly, never really gets anywhere and adopts a silly voice. It's great watching for insomnia, though. I do not know which stream this would be, but Khajiit would not watch such a stream. It sounds like complete nonsense to me. 74 and 75. 74 and 75. I watched Mr. Fox for a review of the rest of the world and escaped from the crazy in these here colonies lately, says Robert. Yeah. Wow, if I'm your escape from crazy, your world's in bad shape, dude. Yeah. No one says peace out anymore, says William Red. But no, it's a bit like... It's like it's just like, I don't know. It's just kind of one of those 70s hippie sayings. It's like save the whales. Nobody ever says that anymore because nobody cares. Somebody said peace out. If they were British, for example, it wasn't an American thing. But if they were British, they'd probably be a member of CND and they'd have a sticker saying save the whales in the back of their car. 74, 75. On these 75, which will be nowhere near 74. It'll be on a different sprue completely. 74, 75. 75. Yeah, oh, sorry, knocking the microphone there. Craftsman is one of those rare examples of a creator who... It really doesn't matter what the hell he makes his videos about. It's his actual content of his content is almost irrelevant because with his videos, it's all about the presentation, the humour, and the way he presents it, and just the sound of his voice. It's literally that. He could make a video about pencils, and it'd be the most fascinating thing ever. And it's very rare you get a talent like that. It's kind of like Bob Ross, you know. Bob Ross painted the same picture over and over for 30 years. Let's just be honest about it. He painted the same thing every time. It's a tree, it's a river, it's a log cabin that he messes up halfway through but recovers it nicely. Oh, look, water wheel. It's the same thing every time. It's a mountain. Doesn't matter, because it doesn't really matter what the subject, what the content was. Nobody watches Bob. Let's be honest. Nowadays, apart from some very frustrated housewives somewhere who are still stuck in the 1980s, nobody really watches Bob Ross to learn how to paint. Nobody under the age of, I don't know, 40 watches Bob Ross to actually learn how to paint the Bob Ross way. Nobody really, they don't. They watch Bob Ross because it's Bob Ross. That's why you watch Bob Ross. You might, as a secondary thing, accidentally learn how to paint a bit in the Bob Ross style, but nobody actually sets out to learn how to paint. Why do you watch Bob Ross? Because I want to learn how to paint, said no one ever since 1986. People watch Bob Ross now because it's Bob Ross. And that's what Craftsman reminds me of. It's that kind of, it doesn't really matter. He is teaching you stuff, and it's interesting stuff, and you know, but he is teaching you interesting things, but it doesn't really matter. How many people that watch his content actually care about whatever he's showing them? Probably a lot don't. They just watch it because they like to watch his stuff. There's a new guy now that has continued the Bob Ross show. I know his son has come back from the darkness. His son, Steve, you saw in a few episodes, and then he kind of vanished and went off and did his own thing, and I think his son's come back. If it's Steve Ross, I think his son's come back into the light. I don't know if he's doing it now. There is another guy, though, they are doing some more programs with some new guy, which is alright, but he's not Bob Ross. Because that's the thing, that's where getting somebody else to do it would slightly fail. Because all the people that watch Bob Ross because it's Bob Ross will have no interest at all in watching anybody else do it. Because they only watch because it's Bob Ross. So he will get the people that want to learn how to paint. He won't get the people that want to just listen to Bob Ross. And that's where you get that kind of lightning in a bottle thing. Somebody with that kind of style and character, you can't really recreate it. Because if you make content that nobody cares about, but they watch your content because they love the way you do it, then that's the downside for anyone you leave behind once you're gone, is they can't really, apart from reruns, they can't replace it because nobody watched it for your actual content. Not why these things work. Right, I think I still pass on watching a shouty, sweat-stained Aussie expert when there are more informed watch channels out there, says SpeedyQ8. Okay. I do find that guy who spends hours denubbing and sanding very restful. Yes. I mean, I'm very self-conscious about my voice. I know I talk fast, I know I gabble on, and I know I talk loud sometimes. I'd love to talk quietly and softly and slowly. And I do sometimes. When I'm doing voiceover, I can do that, but I get so carried away with what I'm doing that I'm all giddy and excited, and within 5 minutes, talking at top whack again. I can't help it. So this is there, that goes on there like that, you see? It applies in this way, huh? Oh, this way. Which way? That way. As if by magic, it's like magic. And I forgot to put my glue in my dad device earlier on, so I'm surprised I didn't get told off. I am actually getting used to the smell of this Tamiya fast setting glue now. To the point where I can actually use it without dying. Yeah. A bit. But I am liking it. Smell aside, I've grown to appreciate this fast setting glue. I mean, look at that. That's just, I mean, it's not fully set, but it's such a strong smell. Oh, I knocked the microphone, sorry. Such a strong smell. I remember painting with Nancy, but what she could do with oil pencil and butter knife was incredible. Yeah, with a palette knife and stuff. But she wasn't in. I actually watched some painting with Nancy. There's very little of that on the YouTubes. A lot of it is like locked away because they sell the DVDs. Whereas, Bob Ross is on Twitch and YouTube. I actually watched a little bit of Painting with Nancy, and she's terrifying. Compared to Bob Ross, she's like, oh, like scary. Scary shenanigans. So that can go on there. We'll use the regular glue for this because we don't need to go fast. Setting, we'll have a look at the chattings. So anyway, to bring the conversation back to where we were originally, at the end of the day, when it comes to doing, if you're going to do YouTube content, you have to, without sounding arrogant, you have to grow a pair. I'd rather be realistic and set people's expectations than mother people into disappointment. If you're going to do YouTube, you have to grow a pair. You have to learn to ignore everything anybody ever says, whilst at the same time not ignoring them because they might have valid feedback. But don't take things personally. And ultimately, do what you want to do. Don't pay attention to other people. Just do whatever you have fun doing, because I guarantee you, if you just make videos of whatever you enjoy doing, you could make videos about counting bananas. And in every video, oh, I've got some of that extra thin. I got some of this quick setting glue on my lip and it's burning. That was on my finger. You could make a video about counting bananas, and I guarantee you there'd be people out there that would sit and watch it. It doesn't matter what you do, there's always someone who will watch what you make. Wayne Haywood says, watched an old Bob Ross show the other day, took me back to the old times. He was brilliant, he was. It would be like someone trying to be Johnny Ball, says Speedy. Johnny Ball, nobody could ever be Johnny Ball. Johnny Ball was the awesomest and was the person who got me interested in sciencey stuff and how why things do what they do. It's like Carl Sagan. Carl Sagan could read a shopping list and you watch it because it's Carl Sagan. And that's another example of someone who, it doesn't really matter what the content is, you watch it because of the person presenting it. And that's it. I would love to think that's why I'm like, you know, I'm the kind of person that people just watch my stuff for me and then learn things along the way. I'm not, of course. I'm just some schmuck with a webcam, but, you know, I don't know. Anyone remember Tony Hart? Yep. I was born in the mid-80s, so most of my memories of him were reruns, but I love watching him. He was so gentle and fun and brought morph to the world. Yep. And the caretaker who was Mr. I've forgotten his name. I can't remember the guy's name. There was the caretaker who occasionally got involved. And I think it was also Tony Hart who's... It's not all good. I'm pretty sure it was Tony Hart that introduced Mr. Nosy Bonk to the world, and I'm pretty sure that was not a good idea. Mr. Nosy Bonk. Good God. Okay, who has found e-models and heard the options? Asked Mark 3Bs. I would know nothing about the options on e-models automated call voice handling system at all. I would know nothing about that. I do recommend you call it. It's probably interesting. I would have no knowledge of that at all. I take it you've just found e-models and got the automated voice system. I'd forgotten about that, actually. I really had forgotten about that. Never ever... Excuse me, I'll start that again. Darren2159. Never ever bloody anything ever. That's my motto. Tony Hart was a legend. I sent a picture of an F-14 Tomcat I'd drawn to take Hart, but they couldn't use it because I was 15 and the gallery was for 14 and under. Got a nice thank you letter there. Mr. Bennett, that's it, the caretaker. I must confess I'd sit for an hour straight listening to Christopher Walken reading a phone directory. That'd be great. Now the next... I can't do Christopher Walken, but he'd be like, the next number... No, I was going to... In my head, I know how his voice works. I can't do it. I'm not even going to try. You know when you're like... I can hear in my head exactly how I want to do it, but my brain can't make my face and vocal cords and stuff do it. I could listen to David Suchet not reading his Poirot there. Oh yeah, David Suchet's got a great voice. Earl D's in. Welcome, Earl D. Says, anyone took part in the insane PS5 pre-ordering? Nope. I didn't. I'm getting I'll get a Series X on it and PS5. Oh, handy hint. Don't get this stuff on your lips. I got a little tiny bit of it on a finger and I must have touched my lip. It's not pleasant. Nosy Bonk was on Jigsaw. Okay, I stand corrected. You're right, it was. Yeah, no, I'll be, when I do a pre-order, I don't know if I'll pre-order it because I haven't got that much. I can't really afford it. But I will get an Xbox Series X, not a PS5. I'm on the Xbox. I've been on Xbox since 2001. And all my backlog catalogue of games are on Xbox. I'm not going to suddenly buy a PlayStation and, you know, ignore the piles of games I've got and the 12 years in Xbox Live. I have had PlayStations. I've got a PS Vita sat over there waiting to do something with some games on it. Slowly working my way through Persona 4 Golden. I'm nothing against the PlayStation at all. I've always been on Xbox. That's where all my friends are, and that's where my games library is. I discovered Idris Elba reading stories, and now I want nothing more than to listen to him reading to me. Oh yes. I'm still trying to teach myself the right way to read out those Skyrim books in that series I'm doing, because I'm trying to get a nice sort of way to read them out and present them that makes it interesting to listen to. So you're not, again, listening to the delivery, not the content. So I'm working on that, but I've not quite got to grips with that yet. It's really quite hard. And it sounds really weird to say it, but until you do it, you don't realise how hard actually just reading a story or a book. Where's my pen gone? You don't realise how much hard work actually reading a book or a story actually is. It may sound silly to say it, but it's actually quite tough to sit there and read, because you've got to do take after take, and it's not going to work the first time. It's quite tough. Let's take a look at the gallery, says SpiddyQ8. Yeah, that's as far as I'm going to go before I get copyright pinged. I think I may go Xbox this time. Game Pass is great value, says LD. Game Pass is great value. What do I want now? I want 71.70. I'm not on Game Pass myself. I've just got Xbox Live. I can't really afford to. Because the problem for me is that Game Pass would be great value, but there's a lot of games that don't interest me. I have a very small sort of preference for games, a very small list of games that I like, and I tend to get bored of games very easily. So this is why I'm still playing Skyrim and Fallout 4, 6-7 years later. And whilst ignoring all the new releases, because none of them interest me that much. 70 I want. So Game Pass, it's a monthly amount, and I thought about it, but I'll just stick with Xbox Live Gold, and that's what I've got for the moment. The new package they've got, where you do the all access thing, where you get your Xbox S or X, Series S or Series X, and you get access to Gold and I forgot what it's called. All the packages basically, and you're paying like what, 25 or 35 quid a month, and you get the console as well. I think that's a really good move. Actually giving people a financing option, not just saying here's our console, it's 500 quid, go. And then they're at the mercy of the retailer. Just saying, here's our console, you can buy it from us and it's financed at 0% APR. This much a month, and you get access to everything. That's a really good deal. Like I say, I mean, I've no... Ultimately, I've no actual real, hardcore preference or loyalty to either format. I've just always been on Xbox. It's where most of the people I know are, and the people I play with are. There's no point me suddenly going PlayStation, having no one to play with, and no games to play. Again, like I say, a lot of the current games I've no interest in, so there's no exclusives that interest me. So just stick with what I've got. And if I get one, I mean, I might not get one. I might not pre-order one. I might not get one at launch. If I get a Series X, I might wait, because it's a lot of money. And a lot of money is what I don't have right now, so it's not exactly a luxury for me. It's like a priority. There is the FOMO, and there is the desire to have the amazing newness. I do want to see what Skyrim and, I know it sounds stupid, but Skyrim, Fallout 4 and Elite Dangerous and No Man's Sky, I want to experience them on the X. I want to see Fallout 4 and Skyrim with HDR. Oh, that'd be great. I know it's added on HDR, it's not built into the game, but Fallout 4 looks nice in 4K, but imagine with 4K and tacked on HDR. Yeah, that'd be sweet. And Skyrim, well, I could say I'd look forward to that, see what the Xbox Series X does to that. But you know, Bethesda will just release a special next generation version for Xbox X and PS5. Of course they will. Of course they will. Skyrim, the new legendary, more legendary version. Bethesda turned down a chance to release Skyrim again on a new console. I don't think so. Oh, I don't think so, Sonny Jim Millett. Read them like Patrick Stewart. Yeah, not an easy voice to do. The funny thing is, if you try it, like I say, like reading things, it sounds really easy, but it's actually really hard. So, because it can be quite tiring if you're reading a lot of stuff. The difficulty is, of course, just sitting there talking for hours on end is very tiring. I've just cleaned this, and yet I haven't just cleaned it. It's tiring on your voice. So doing that and trying to do a voice that's not your natural voice is even harder. Like one of the Skyrim books, I've tried recording it about 5 times now, and it's Tales of a Khajiit fur trader, I think it is, and it's written by a Khajiit. So I've tried reading it in a Khajiit voice, and it kills me every time because I get halfway through and it's like your voice is knackered because you're forcing yourself to do a voice that's not your natural voice, and obviously read it out and then get all the inflections right and the intonation, everything else. It's really hard. So yeah, it's weird. You wouldn't think just read. So people that do like audio books, good God. Like a whole book? Jesus, that'd be like, kill me. Just talking on a live stream is hard enough. And just, recording video when you're talking is hard enough. I don't think I need to worry about these nubs. Like I say, I think these are all covered up. My bottom lip is a little bit sore now where the glue touched it. God damn it. A little bit burny on my bottom lip there. Bottom lip, dear. Lip. What was the name of the American who said, and that's the way it is after every news broadcast? Is that Dan Rather? No, because you say, and that's a CBS News site. The way it is, or something. This is CBS News. I'm Dan Rather. Yeah, Dan Rather had a great voice. Speaking as a Brit who obviously didn't have access to CBS News when he was a kid, but having seen Dan Rather on video, he had a great voice. This is CBS News. I think it was Dan Rather. Somebody in chat's probably answered it. Do. As long as you don't use the Khajiit voice, you are golden fox. Oh no, I have accidentally used the Khajiit voice. This one has nothing but regret. It's tough and you get dry throat really quickly when reading chapters. Oh yeah. I have PS4 and Xbox One and play more on the Xbox, says John Paul. I had a PS3 and an Xbox 360. I actually got a PS3 towards the end of its life cycle purely to play Uncharted, I think 3 when it came out. And no, actually, I tell a lie. No, I bought a PS3 when the original Last of Us came out purely to play The Last of Us. That's how much I wanted to play that game. And I played The Last of Us and I played a couple of the Uncharteds and then never used it much after that because I already had an Xbox. And it wasn't the PlayStation's fault, it was just that, again, I have a small number of games that I enjoy. And kind of it, really. What am I doing? I need to sand that a little bit. Read it like Patrick Moore. Hello! Today we're going to look at this bloody app. Patrick Moore, what a legend. My mate Martin, my very good friend Martin, you don't know him. He's into astronomy and all that kind of stuff. He actually wrote to Patrick, he wrote to Patrick Moore once, as a kid, asking about something to do with astronomy. And Patrick Moore wrote him back and said, "Here's my number, call me anytime." So he did. He left a message on Patrick Moore's answer machine. I think he got a call back, but I don't know. This is back in the 70s when, you know, some young kid calls Patrick Moore. "Yeah, here's my number. There you go, call me now." Not anymore. Walter Cronkite, that's it. Walter Cronkite, that's the way it is. This is Walter Cronkite. I don't know why I was thinking of Dan Rather. Walter Cronkite is famously the guy who, the newsreader who was, did a lot of the Apollo landing broadcasts. This is Walter Cronkite. City Skylines is fantastic if you liked SimCity, says David Sanderson. No, it's not my kind of game, that. Not my kind of thing, but I can see why people like it. I've read and recorded the stuff for my son and a friend who likes to listen to stories when working long hours and can't read. Ooh. Yeah, audiobooks. I've often thought about like audiobooks, doing some videos of audiobooks of public domain works, because then I can monetize them and not get my ass kicked. Folks, I sent you a funny PS5 eBay listing on Messenger. I shall have a look later. Thank you. I think Colin from Festa 67's workshop should read stories. That'd be great. Can you imagine? Oh, can you imagine Cole reading, say, some Dickens? It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. Is that Dickens? I don't know. That's Tale of Two Cities, isn't it? Who wrote Tale of Two Cities? Not Dickens. I don't know. That'd be great. Festa reads the classics. The classics. What? Right. Let us apply the glue and the stickings. Oh, get that off. I'm waiting a year to see how it all plays out, says Earl D. With the consoles, it'll play out like every other console generation. Everybody will lose their mind when they come out, and then after a while it'll just be, yeah, whatever. They're just consoles. Same as every other generation. I mean, it is interesting to see that, you know, there's a lot of people kind of say, I mean, I don't know, but people saying basically for the consoles that are out now, you could not make them with any kind of decent budget for the price they're going for. A lot of people saying you couldn't make an Xbox One S for less than $600, $700, $800 or pounds. Sorry, I said dollars for. And yet they're selling it for $299. When you think of it on that basis alone, these new consoles, you can't knock them. If you're basically selling a gaming device that can handle up to, well, either 4K on the X case or 1440p on the S, and ray tracing, and has, I think, the fastest SSDs outside of anything, because there are no off-the-shelf consumer SSDs that even match the speed and data transfer rate of the consoles. And, you know, seems like a good thing to me. I mean, PCs will take over, obviously. They always run ahead, but it's nice to see the console just edging forward. You couldn't build a similar rig. Apparently. I'm no expert on such matters. I was listening to one guy who was saying, basically, if you wanted to build your own computer to compete with even just the Xbox Series S, just the graphics card alone would cost you $300. I think it was American, so $300. And that's just the graphics card. You've then got to build the rest of the PC around it, so. Yeah. Doodle-doo, doodle-doo. Colin is a classic. He certainly is. And YouTube just tanked, grr, says Muse. This is Walter Cronkite, and that's the way it is. Team Inept says, Romeo, where the fucking hell are you, Muppet? Festa. Yes, Romeo with an H. Harry Potter lifting his wand and said, "Listen here, you slag." Yeah, we need to get Festa. It says Ian Thompson. Hey Ian, welcome. Get Festa reading some classic stories. It's impossible to read those without hearing him in Colin's voice. I used to tell my nephew Star Wars when I babysat him, complete with different voices and sound effects. Even now, 20 years later, he says, "Do your Chewbacca and R2, Uncle Steve." Yeah. Chap here on YouTube-ish built a PC version of the Series X for $1,500-ish. Yeah, that's the thing. All the people that normally come on and go, "Oh, PC Master Race, blah, blah, blah." It's like, yeah, but you make one that's as good as the X or the PS5 for under $500. Go on. Go and do it. And it'll be a year or two before they can. They will be eventually. But it's nice to see consoles having that advantage for the moment, you know. They've pushed the manufacturers to make the fastest SSDs with the highest data throughputs that just aren't even available on PCs. Cool! But I don't really... I mean, don't mistake that for me having any interest in the old PC console master race gaming nonsense. I don't care. I play my games and I have fun. And that's as complicated as it gets. I don't care where people play games. I just care that they play games and have fun doing it. That's all that matters. All your playing games needs. Yes, I have to admit, I was looking at the article talking about those new Playmobil cars, the camper van and the VW, and I was looking at them thinking, oh, I could throw the Playmobil figures away and just have a really big VW camper van there, or a Beetle that I could weather up and have rusted out. Great. Steve has achieved cool uncle status. Oh yeah. I tried to get cool uncle status for my nephews with my models in my cabinet, but they were like, eh. Yeah. It failed miserably. They were too busy playing Mario something or other on Mama Fox's 3DS. They like Lego though. But it's like, you know, my nephews, they walk into a room and then there's a cabinet, in the display cabinet, you've got a 2.5 foot tall Unicorn Gundam in bare metal. You've got a 3.5 foot tall Master Chief. You've got X-Wings, Y-Wings, all kinds of bits and bobs. And their response was, yeah, I'll play on your DS. Yeah, nothing I ever do will impress them, so I just gave up at that point and decided not to worry about it. I'll never achieve cool uncle status and as a result. Now, I've got a bead of glue showing here where I put those two bits together, but I'm not really fussed because that's going to get a healthy dodding of earth over it anyway when I come to weather this. As soon as they see my model and toy builds, I got cool uncle status, Ian lol. Anything crafty for school and they come to me. That's the downside. If you tell your nephews and nieces that you've got the crafty abilities, you have to make stuff for them that you don't want to make. And don't get me wrong, I love my hobby, but I ain't no philanthropist. I can barely say philanthropist. I think my next build may be a kit guitar I got a few years ago. Going to strip it, remove the crappy varnish, get my words out, varnish I assume you mean? Oh, veneer do you mean? Veneer off the top, then plug up the rooted holes with some wood and add a nice flamed maple cap. Sounds good. Viking ship from Lollysticks, I am your man, says B3. Yeah, but are you going to put like tank tracks on it and make it a hoverboat? Tell you what I was looking at yesterday after a conversation in the Boom Hut. Incidentally, while we're still here, make sure the buttons still work. Link for the Boom Hut in there as I'm talking about it. I went over to the Industria Mechanica website. I've not been there for a long time. And looked at some of the kits available on Ficht and Foo's website. Oh, some of those like Skyship kits. Oh, there's the big long one. I can't remember what it's called now. Oh, it's like $150. Or was it $250? It's all resin and photo etch. But it's a big long... It's almost like a fishing junk, but it floats in air. And I was looking at it going, oh, I need that, but no. $250 now. Plus it's resin. I was looking at it thinking I could get it, build it, paint it, enjoy it, and then sell it. Then I realised, how the hell would I even ship that? Never going to happen. But yeah, some of them the kits on Industrial Mechanica, some of the vehicles like the boats and stuff. Absolutely amazing. Right, we've got that far. Hello, Mama Fox.
Hello.
Got that far. It's too pricey, yeah, says Muse. I don't think they're too expensive for what they are. They're full-on resin and photo etch kits, and they're garage kits. They're made by a small company, like handmade, handcrafted kind of thing. So I don't think they're too expensive for what they are. But it's more just a case of, if I sold it, how would I? I'd love to get one to build it, but I want to sell it. I need to get back into the thing of building to sell. I've not done it for a long time. But yes, how would I ship it? It's long and pointy with things and crane arms and strings and all kind of bits sticking out. I don't know how you'd ship that without building a wooden case, and that would not be a good idea. Right, that's there. Put that there out of the way. Scale model Muse waves at Mama Fox. Do 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 do. Beyond Hope says, built a Telecaster and a P-Bass from kits a while back. The pickup strings and electrics were second rate, but once they were replaced with Fender and D'Addario, both instruments played great. Kits are rubbish, never seen one that looked like a garage. Oh, garage kits. I killed it by missing out the entire first word, didn't I? Oh well. Garage kits are rubbish. I'll shut up now. Okay, so now we've got the back wall going in. This is where we start to hope that everything's lined up okay, and if it didn't, we're kind of screwed. I'm sure it'll be fine. Just didn't trust. I still don't trust that front part that didn't seem to have any real secure locating pins. I found out today, by the way, listening to the Skeptic's Guide to the Universe podcast. You know, I use the word blart a lot. I just like the word blart. I don't know if I made it up. I've used it for years. I didn't know this, but apparently it turns out blart is actually a real thing. Blart is a kind of star, as in, you know, in the universe kind of star. Too pricey, says Muse about those kits, and it moved. Oh, Ian Thompson says, suck up. Oh, because, I don't know. Oh, because she waves at Mama Fox. Okay, sorry, I misread all that. I misread it as suck it up, as in you complained about the price. No, she says suck up. It says suck up because you waved at Mama Fox. Just after 7 PM here, I must leave. Bye, everyone. Have a good evening, says Michael. Thanks for coming in, Michael. Take care of yourself, buddy. Don't forget, Chris will be streaming later on. About 8 o'clock? 8 o'clock, half 8? I've forgotten now. What time are you on, Chris? 8 o'clock? I've got confused because Ted starts at 9, doesn't he? Chris will be doing his stream on his channel, Growth Models, later on. Apparently he's got a poorly shoulder, but it won't stop him streaming, which is the correct answer. Now you will see me here, when I'm taking these nubs off, I'm not being super careful, and I have done a little bit of gougey with this, a little bit. I've dug into the plastic a little bit. I'm not fussed. Because, you know me, I don't do clean, shiny models. I do weathered models, and when this gets painted, it's going to have some dirt and dust, and it'll probably have a few dings and bullet holes and things in it. It'll be weathered. It's going to have seen some action. If I made a few like gouges with the knife here and there while I've been taking out nubs, that's fine. It's just part of the weathering. Now I know technically a lot of the Imperial stuff is hundreds or even thousands of years old. Like, a Lehman Russ could be 1,000 years old. Somehow it's not been destroyed. But this stuff isn't, because this is new. This is, Primaris stuff is only a few years old. Because, what's his name? I've forgotten the guy's name. What's the guy, the Mechanicum guy's name? I've forgotten his name. It's Belisarius Cole, that's it. They only made all this stuff in the last year or two, so this stuff is all new, so it's not going to be too massively battered. But I still want it to have some wear and tear. But it'll still have some chips and dings and rough bits, so I'm not fussed if I made a few sort of digs here and there with the blade while I've been trimming the nubs off. It'll all be part of the weathering. Now, I do have an update for you as well. Oh yes, very important update. Very important for me. The Falcon build is nearing the end. Yeah. Nearing completion. I've just today done I finished the streaking yesterday. Just today I quickly dibbled out a load of rust on the side walls, little scorch and blaster marks all over the hull, and a few chips and bits on the gunwales, and also the scorching effects around the rectenna dish and the gash underneath. So that's been done. All I've got left to do now, I think, is to do the streaks from the back of the engine exhausts, a little bit of rust on one of the engine vents, and I think a little bit of an airbrush coat of some streaking grime and some dust, just to give it a sort of dirty, dusty look. So hopefully the Falcon will be done and completed by the end of this week. Yes. So that means, hopefully, I've got a really itchy nose, hang on. Hopefully by next week, not this week coming up, not like tomorrow. Hopefully, maybe even, hang on, I need to wipe my nose now. Hang on a minute. Got a nose explosion. Oh. Yeah, you know, like you scratch your nose and suddenly your nose runs like a tap. Hopefully, if not by the end of this week coming up, but by the start of the week after, I can make a start on Tabletop Trauma Centre. Yay! I can get the first episode of that done. I've been waiting to do it for like a year, almost. It was supposed to be something I did in February, March, and then the world caught fire and everything went wrong. So hopefully, that'll be starting soon. Yes. Happy times. And my vow is now that I stop doing things that are massive and hard to photograph or film, because the Falcon's just too damn big. Well, having said that, I've got the X-Wing to do, but the Falcon's too big to get. The photo shoot at the end's gonna be a pain in the bum because I can't get the camera in different angles. So, but yes. The gash underneath says Team Inept in capitals. Yes, indeed. Oh, excuse me, I got burps. Beyond Hope says, oh, hello. That's not what Tidirian Model said. Oh, where did that come from? It tasted of nothing. I'll have some water. Oh, live from the Colosseum. Actual burps. But just seen Tidirian Models have got a 1350 Rebel Medical Frigate resin kit. 100 pieces, but limited availability. £650 with UK shipping, but would look good with your Falcon. I'm sure it would. My Falcon gets to go back to E-Models and sit in their display cabinet. It's not my Falcon, unfortunately. It's not mine to keep. They give me the kit. I build it and paint it. It goes back and sits in their cabinet. Never mind. Next to the Eagle Transporter that I also didn't get to keep. God damn it. Yeah, what I really want though, is a Tantive 4, the blockade one. I wish somebody would make an enormous kit of that. If Bandai did a massive kit of the Tantive 4, imagine that in 1/72 scale. It'd be like 8 foot long. Oh, that would get my money. It's actually quite a simple looking ship when you look at the actual studio model. But yeah, I'd certainly have a Tantive 4. Fox has got the lurgy, disinfect the stream. Tabletop Trauma Centre or how to polish a turd, says B3. Yep, same thing basically. Super quality burpage, says Team Inept. Oh yes. Thank you. That was a burp bomb. Yes. I did a little tiny one and kind of held it off, and then that one just went out from nowhere. So. Ildy's talking about guitars. I've got no idea what any of this means. Beyond Hope, I am changing the pickups in my pal's new Harley Benton Superstar guitar. It's absolutely beautiful. I set up last week and it's getting some kind of bare knuckle pickups. None of those. I know what all those words mean individually. Other than that, no idea. I have owned a few guitars in my time. Actually, I've only ever owned one electric guitar. And it was a Fender knockoff. It wasn't an actual Fender. And I bought it purely for one purpose. And that one purpose was to add a guitar track to my cover version of Rendezvous 4 because I did a cover version of Jean-Michel Jarre's Rendezvous 4, but wanted to add the guitar track that was that the bloke from the Shadows did in the Destination Docklands live concert. So I added that because it was all one note. It was all single note, you know, play. I bought a guitar just for that, and then I did that, and then lost the recording somewhere and long gone. Right, this needs to apply to the rear end. I'm going to be fiddling around near the back end now. Oh yes, Medron. Heavens abed, say. Do we have any attachment points, or is this another suck it and see job? Let's have a find out. Let's have a find out. That's not even English, folks. What the hell are you on about? Absolutely no attachment points whatsoever. Oh, there's two tiny ones. What? 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 Oh, I see now. I get you. There we go. I shall now apply this part in the style and the voice of James Mason. I have now forced my parts into the rear end. Everything is in place. That's nice and in there. Technically I wouldn't even have to glue that because that's kind of wedged in with a great big gap. That's really not great panel gap there. That's a bit shoddy, but not to worry. We can live with it because it will be fine. So again, I'm going to be weathering the crap out of it anyway, so I'm not really particularly fussed. What I shall do before I glue that on, I'm not going to glue that on yet. What time are we on? 5:15. I shall assemble and put together and assemble, same word twice, redundant wording. I shall assemble the top armour piece and see what happens. Just so I can put them together and see how it goes. So we have 42 and 29. I don't really need to look at the number for 42. It's the big kind of body armour piece. Oh, look at the nubs on this. Ooh, bad nub placement. Ooh, dear Lord. Ooh, nasty, nasty nubs. Oh, horrible, horrible nubs. GW, please, please take a lesson from Bandai and do small attachment points and fine, svelte attachments. So much nicer if you do. Mind you, having said that, this isn't an official Games Workshop print, is it? It's not the grey plastic, it's the Conquest stuff, so God knows. 29, which is this great big puppy. Yeah, see? I think, yeah, 29. Ba-ding. Yes, I have no idea what happened to that cover version of Rendezvous 4. Sadly, I did a lot of cover versions in my time, just for fun. That were on. I think they were recorded on my Tascam 388, so on my 1/4-inch reel-to-reel 8-track, not 8-track like the 8-track cartridge, 8-track as in a studio recording device, and then mastered to DAT, and then mastered onto whatever digital. But I don't know what happened to a lot of them. I think the tapes just got lost, and the DAT tapes got misplaced, and there's loads of. I did a cover version of. I did cover versions of. Get this right. I did do cover versions of the Star Trek Voyager, First Contact, and Deep Space Nine theme tunes, which, in my memory, were probably terrible. But I was trying. I was learning, but they were probably terrible. 37, I want. 37. I think anywhere on that sprue. No. Okay. But I also did cover versions of. God, I wish it was in order. 23, 51. You really do have to go off finding the part based on what it looks like, and I've got no idea. 37, 38. They're two headlight parts. Oh, for the love of. Oh, trying to find this damn thing. Yeah, I did a cover version of Terminator 1 and Terminator 2 theme tunes. Brad Feidel's classic Fairlight pieces. But what I did was I started the piece out at Terminator 1 style, and then halfway through did a bit of a switcheroo and transformed it into the Terminator 2 theme seamlessly. Right, I'm sitting there. They are, and I seem to remember it was actually quite good, even by my own. If I do this to myself, but I've got no idea what happened to it. I've looked for it, I can't find it. Unfortunately, I no longer have. I've got a load of stuff on DAT tape, but you know, I no longer have a DAT recorder either. So, never mind. Wish someone would do the ships from Rebels. They had some great designs. There's Imperial Flyers, the Rebel Hammerhead Jobbies, even the Ghost were all worthy of being made. Yeah, I'd make a Ghost. Ghost was great. Snippety, snippety, snip. Right, these abominations here. Let's get these abominations off. Oh, horrible, massive nubulations. Oh, taking a gouge out there. You go, because it's on a stupid chamfered edge. God damn it. I don't know. I'm not afraid of a challenge, but I'm afraid of a loathe of nonsense. Now we know they can do good sprue design because they do have the little sort of push together ones where they're designed to be popped out of the sprue and not glued together, and they have tiny little attachment points. And it's like, that's great. Why can't you do that on every of your kits, every single one of your kits? Then everything would be brilliant. Be great, thanks. But they never do. Never do. I'm starving. I'm ravenously hungry. Ravenously hungry. And other geological formations. Right, let's get that bit done. Get these bits cleaned up. Has anyone else considered what a hobby is doing to the environment? Yeah, I try not to. Every single hobby I have is bad for the environment. I've got nowhere to go. It's either models, gaming, yeah, or drawing on the computer. None of my hobbies are environmentally friendly, sadly. I know a lot of manufacturers now are trying their best, or they are starting to do stuff. I know Bandai does a load of recycled stuff. Some of their kits are recycled, all the plastic's recycled and stuff, and some manufacturers are starting to get a bit more conscientious. But yeah. I think all we can ask is that the manufacturers start doing their bit. But unfortunately, a lot of it will come down to recycling and the failures of recycling companies. You know, even with the best will in the world, if the manufacturers all started being eco-friendly and using recycled plastic, when you throw stuff away, if it doesn't go back into the recycling chain because of the company doing the waste disposal, then all the hard work from the other companies is for nothing. Yeah, I don't think about it. I try not to. I care about the environment, but yeah, I just don't want to sit here looking at the grass growing as my hobby. Yeah. YouTube keeps eating the chat, says Muse. I think you're having some problems with YouTube there, dude. Is anybody else having problems with chat and stuff? It will occasionally disappear off the little blue box here, but that's an issue of my streaming software. Losing connection with YouTube. That's not down to YouTube, that one. I've got to be careful. This tube is very bendy and potentially going to snap off. I shall be most careful when navigating around it, which is hard when there's a nub right there. I can see this tube snapping off, causing a swear. Well, I've gouged the crap out of that surface. Well done. Trying to avoid that tube. Never mind. Yeah, be careful of these tubes on the back. They're very bendy. They're hollow. Recycling of your yoga pots, sweet containers and shampoo bottles. I am the greenest model maker. I know. That's true, says B3, because he does. He takes all the crap and just makes things out of it. So I'm just trying to concentrate now. The downside with these vehicles is the nubs are so big that the cleanups are a pain in the bum. And as a painter and not a better builder, and of course, you guys know me that I find the build part of any project the tedious bit. This is the tedious bit. Made physical. Hey, you know that bit that you don't enjoy? Yeah, we're just going to make it even more challenging and hard by giving you massive nubs and big flat surfaces. Thanks, Obama. Oh, big nubs I've forgotten about. Big nubs! I genuinely hate resin. I just dropped my Krill Mini and broke. And it broke. Dope. Yeah, you gotta be careful, dude. Be careful with these things. Sorry about that, though, buddy. People sending me emails. Spam. Oh, God, look at that. Ugh. Horrible nubs. Ray Quillian's off. I got to eat. Bye for now, guys. Take care, Ray. Thanks for coming in, buddy. Enjoy your noms, whatever they may be. I'm starving. Big gouge. Not very exciting this bit, I'm afraid, folks. I'm trying to be really careful because of that tube on the back, but it means I'm gouging the crap out of everything on here. Anyway, hope you're all well. How is everybody? We're all fine and dandy. No news, I would say, other than the update on the Falcon, which hopefully we finish this week. Which means, hopefully, all being well, I'll have an episode up this week in early access for everybody. And then the week after next, it'll be available to everybody. That'll be the last episode, the final episode of Falcon. Right. I find this bit so boring in the building. I like building the figures. I don't know why. I like building the figures because they're organic and that's kind of fun. But I don't have any love for building vehicles and stuff because there's, you're working on flat surfaces and straight edges that you've got to keep straight and flat, and you've got to be. I like figures. I could sit and build Imperial Guard dudes all day long, even though they've got the really gnarly seam lines on the heads. I could quite happily build them all day. So they're just fun to build. The hobby is good for the environment. We take lots of petroleum-based byproducts and put them together in one easy-to-find place. Yeah, true. This is indeed true. I'm going to get that sanding stick to bite, and I keep forgetting I've got an entire sanding stick here. Kenneth sent me, my very good friend Kenneth. I'm doing my bigger vehicle, I can use some of the sanding sponges that Kenneth from Australia sent me. Thank you very much, Kenneth. Sent me this mat as well. Because these are too big to use on figures. I'm a tad frazzled, to be honest, Fox. Constant work since April has left me very run down, but I only have a week till 10 whole days off to hopefully recharge the batteries. Yes. I would suggest during that 10 days doing sweet FA, mate. Do nothing at all. Don't do anything for anybody else. If someone says, can you just... No. How about no? Could you just no? But yeah, but we need to... No. We need this thing... No. But we need to get on the ladder and put that ball back. No. Well, how about no? Just no. Just every answer is no. It's the worst thing when you get time off and the first thing anybody in the house if you're sharing a house with someone, living with family or whatever, The moment you get a day off, it's like, could you just? Yeah, you spend all day at work, all day, every day at work. You get one day off. Could you just? No. 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 Ugh. Used to drive me nuts. Oh, you've got a day off. Brilliant. We need all this shopping. Oh, you've got a day off. You can do this thing in the garden. How about I've got a day off because I'm knackered from work. And I need to just not do anything for anybody ever for a day. I hate that. It's my darn day off. The problem I've got now, you see, of course, is because I work from home. This is what I do for my job. This is my job. I'm working from home. But Mama Fox kind of forgets that sometimes. Could you just? I'm kind of filming. I'm working from home, so I'm always working from home. So it's like, there's never a day off. I have to kind of explain that sometimes. Just because I'm sat upstairs on the computer, on the internet, doesn't mean I'm sitting there doing nothing. I'm actually doing work. Oh. Because technically, you see, I'm always here to do, could you just? Because I'm always here. I don't mind. But it's funny. I have to say to her, right, I'm going to do some recording now. I'll be a few hours. I'll let you know when I finish, then you can throw a load of chores at me. Okay. Like in these sanding sponges, Kenneth. Apart from that one, he's filing down there. Worrying about these tubes at the back. My plan today is the yard work, says Muse. How about you planted it, but then you totally don't? That'd be great. That'd be even better than actually doing it. My plan today is the yard work. Whether I do it or not is a different story. My plan today is to do this. Then when this is done, go make the dinners. Eat the dinners. Whilst watching an episode of Time Team. Conclude watching Time Team. Brush my teeth. Put the bins out. And then come back to the bench. And, well, actually, no, I can't do that. I was going to say come back to the bench and carry on with the Falcon, but I've just done a load of oil paint dry brushing. The next step is, oh no, I can do it actually. I can do a bit more on the Falcon tonight because I've got to dry brush the streaks around the back of the engines. But then I have to leave it for 24 hours before I can do a bit of airbrush work with some streaking grime. So, the plan then, of course, that'll be Monday. The plan then, of course, is that gives me a justified day for having a day off. Because I'm waiting for the oil paints to dry. I can't do anything else on the bench because everything else will be set up. So, I can play some video games for a day. A nice treat. Day just devoted to playing video games, which is, Fallout. Maybe some Elite Dangerous. I've not played Elite Dangerous for a while. I think that's all these nubs dealt with. You forgot about watch Warhamster tonight. Oh yeah. Oh no, I forgot about that. Yeah. So no. Well, yeah. That kind of happens when I'm doing my Falcon. Because the thing with the Falcon is, it's a case of 5 minutes filming to explain what I'm doing, and then I just go off and do it. So let me amend the plan then. Have my dinner. Well, do the washing up, make the dinner. Have my dinner, watching some Time Team. When that's done, brush my teeth. Then I can do my little bit of filming on the Falcon. And then by the time it's Chris's stream tonight, I'll be still working on the Falcon, but I can have the stream open while I'm working on the Falcon. Or I might have even finished by then. In which case you get my undivided attentions. I think it's just because it's been up and down for the last few weeks, Chris, that I've got out of the habit of watching, knowing there's your content at 8 PM. This is what happens when you don't maintain a regular schedule, you see. Yes, when you have a few weeks off for unspecified reasons. You don't see me taking time off. Not doing live streams. Oh, wait. I've got a good excuse though. I have to drop my son off at work soon too. There's news. There's a big mould line right down the middle of this tube. His girlfriend usually takes him, but she had to work today. Can he not get himself to work? If he's got a job, can he not like just get public transport or a car or a bike or something? My parents would be like, "You're old enough to drink. You're old enough to get your own damn car or get on a bus or a train or just." They have one car on public train sucks. Oh, okay. They're sharing a car between them. Nah. I take it you can't just walk to work then. But is it like when you drop a teenager off at school? Does he kind of just drop me around the corner and then just drive off? Don't say anything. He's like embarrassed by his parents, you know. Drop me off around the corner. I can drop you outside. No, drop me around the corner. No, I don't want you to see. People say, no, just drop me around the corner. Shut up. Like when you're at secondary school and somebody gets picked up by or dropped off by their parents and nobody's taking the mickey because we're all like teenagers. We all just get the bus or the train to school. There's always one kid who's dropped off by his mum. It's like, yeah. And he's dead embarrassed because teenagers are always embarrassed by their parents. It's the law. Lol, no, I drop him off out front. There you go. Don't take no guff. Drop him off out front. People know. Make sure to give him a little packed lunch box as well. And a big parent kiss as he gets out of the car. Have a good day, son. Or just shout out, you forgot your mutant turtles lunchbox. Throw it out at him. Ways to embarrass your children. Just be their parent. Is usually the way. His girlfriend packs his lunch, lol. So he's got it good then, basically, hasn't he? Bless him. Right, that's that bit. So, we're on 1734. We have the upper hull. Let me clean these bits off. Hang on, first of all. That. Super useful mat, this, Kenneth. I've still not got used to the fact how useful this mat actually is. Very, very useful. Very, very useful mat, this is. Good. Kenneth's lovely. Right, all them bits. So we have the there's instructions. We have the upper part of the hull there, back and front. We have the glacis plate here, which goes like, wow, that's tenuous at best. I think really tenuous. Like they really are kind of. Oh no, actually that's not so bad. The glacis plate locks on like that. Those lights go inside, and then this sits here like this, you see? Like that right there. Somehow. I'm just going to make it up in my mind and see if I can figure it out without actually reading the instructions. Because who needs to read the instructions? Instructions are for chumps. They're not, really. You should always read the instructions. Every time you don't read the instructions, a kitten loses its wings. I think that's in. Is that in? Is that not in? Vague instructions don't really tell me much. Okay, so that sits on there and that sits on there. Like, okay, that's not so bad. It's a bit chunky. There's a bit big chunks of gaps and chisel missing in the middle. That sits on there like that. I think, you know, that it might be possible to not have the roof. Ooh, hang on, I'll drop my brush. Hang on. Where's it gone? Come here. Boy, come by now. Come by. Right down the back of the... Oh, right down the back of my compressor and everything. I think it might be possible to have the upper hull not glued in place. Get the sidewalls on. And then have this removable. That dog next door but one is barking. Have this removable so I can paint the interior should I need to. Anybody who's built this, tell me if that's a possibility. She even puts little notes in it, says Muse, about the lunchbox. Oh, if I had kids, my mission in life would be to embarrass the crap out of them. So you'd be a parent then. You need to get some corduroy trousers and some proper 1980s steel metal framed, slightly off square glasses. They're all 21 now and I still do it when I can, says Muse. Yes. Right, so that dog needs to just sort of shut up or die or something. One of the two. I've got the runny nose from hell again. Good God. It's like I keep breaking a seal or something. You have to get a little crazy. Get it? Seal. Shut up. So we can put this on the back now. We can permanently assemblate this back panel. Attach your back panel. Ooh, matron. 21 plus, Foxy. Oh, okay. I didn't see the plus bit. I've got old man eyes. I'm a long way away, so... Right, so we need to put some gluings on there. Gluings on the doings. I'll move this out of the way. The 21 plus means like what, 37? In the 40s? Because I'm 21 plus. Can go on there. Touch and glue down that little corner. There we go. Lovely, lovely. Yeah, there's quite a few gaps in this here and there. Tremendous gap holes. Gap holes? Gap holes. I don't think gap holes is a real phrase, Fox. There we go. Push that in. Squish, 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 squish. A bit of caterpillar action going on into all the little crevices and creases. White hard caterpillar action. I'm not going to glue the roof on just yet. The roofing gefahrten, ja, with the gluing and the placing and the positioning. Misha Giacchino. My youngest is 21 and my oldest is 32. You're 21X, not plus, says Gross Models. Oh, you bitch. So harsh. So harsh. I'm not 21X, I'm just big boned. I'm big aged. Not gluing there though, is it? Come on now. Don't mess me about. I'm going to use the super fast glue for this one. This bit here is giving me some grief. There. Stay. You go where you put and you stay where you go and stay. There we go. Actually get some glue down there. Might hold it in place, Fox. It's always a winner. Put an actual glue in a place. Make it stay in a place. Always a good idea, you know. Yeah, that's it. Richtig. Put the lid on properly because it makes me go a bit wiggly wiggly. Do. I might not. I don't know though. I'm thinking about tonight. I might not do any Falcon stuff because I might actually have a beer. We do have beers in the house. I may actually treat myself to a beer. I've been looking after Mama Fox for a couple of weeks. I think I'm allowed a treat of a beer. A nice, delicious, delicious beer. I have a selection of ales downstairs. Genuinely lovely ales. I think that's on forever now. That's got a forever attachment. Big ol'. I'm quite sure. I'm assuming the back door though just glues in place. Either glues open or it doesn't look like it's got any kind of hinge going on. Certainly didn't direct me to take account for any kind of hinge action. So I'm guessing the door is going to have to be glued closed. That's a bit of a shame. Because there really is no point painting the interior if none of the doors are actually hinged. Like on the Stormwolf, you can actually open the door on the front, and I painted the full interior. I didn't light it. You actually painted the full interior. And I don't know why, because no one will ever see it. But I did, because I knew it would be painted. I knew it would be there, but I did. So these two, I don't think I want to necessarily glue this together right now, or do I? I want to keep that flexibility in those two parts, because if I put this together, if I glue it together and for some reason it's not lined up spot on perfect, I might end up with like a gap there. If I glue it and it somehow sticks in the wrong angle, I wouldn't want to do that. It might be a wise thing for me to do to finish that sentence. Also, that isn't really fitting very well. A big honking gap there. I don't know what's going on there. There's real massive gaps under there, though. Big gaps in the bodywork. Am I doing either? I'm doing something wrong, or I don't think I am, or there's just a lot of gaps in this kit. Holy McMorley, Mahoney. Großen Gappen gefahren. Das ist nicht richtig. That there doesn't really want to go in very well. It does when it's not attached. Again, I'm just flailing around like an idiot now. I'm not actually reading instructions or anything. Flailing, flailing, flailing the bush kangaroo. Right, just pay attention, Fox. What are you actually trying to achieve here? No. I'll have to look at the instructions again. I'm going to have to look at the instructions again, aren't I? Fascists. Give me a look at instructions. That goes there. That sits on like there, do you see? So that should spong into the corner there. It just doesn't want to go, does it? It's like, whoa, I don't know about that now. You have to get the angle just right. Oh, that's actually, there it is. It's kind of, sort of, in, sort of, kind of. I think we might be able to get away with that. I think. And actually, no, I was hoping I could take this off and leave that glued in place, but I can't. That's not an option. But it does stay on. So what I might do is, if I do something very clever now, I know me doing something clever, why don't I glue these two bits together while they're in situ? And then once I can pop it off again. Yeah, that's a good idea. We'll have to glue these headlights in first. To supply the little tiny headlights of seeing. Let us find the little tiny headlight. Where's the little tiny headlights of seeing? There they are. Apply these first to the upper hull area. So these go in thusly. That way, you see? Like that, you see? Kapling. Kapla. That goes in there. Oh, and then falls out. Yay. Falling out all over the place. Isn't there like that? Apparently. That does go in there like that. That will go in there, lad. That will. Oh. Come on now. I got this the right way up. Quite possibly not. That's better. That's better. I'm getting the mojo with this quick setting glue. It is making life a lot faster and speedier. I'm getting used to the smell and closing the thing every 5 minutes. It is making things a lot easier. Again, there's all gaps around the edge. There's a lot of gaps in this kit. It's quite weird. It's not the end of the world, because once it's built, it'll all be sealed up anyway, but a little bit shoddy. I've got to be honest, G-Dubs. Now, I know this isn't official G-Dubs kit. This is like a authorised reprint, but still, a few shoddy gaps. I wish Cy Reynolds was here. He could tell me what his was like. I know he's built one. Now, Cy Reynolds did ask me. That's not even in properly, you idiot. Again, that's nicely in properly. Cy Reynolds did actually point something out that I hadn't noticed, which I'll show you in a second. Because Cy's built the original release of this when it first came out, and he's got the new one, which is the one with the new turret on. Oh, flipping glue print there. Oh, fingerprint in the glue. I'll sand that off, it's no problem. I think I did that earlier. I've had a gluey finger and splonged it on the end. Let's get rid of that now. Remember, it's going to have battle damage. It's not the end of the world. Yes, he got this, and he noticed that on the sidewalls, which I haven't taken off yet, there's a couple of ejector pin marks on the outside of the sidewalls, like where the little steps are. You probably won't see it, but there's one up in here. There's like a little tiny half ejector pin mark, and there's another one somewhere else. There's one there, like in that little recess. And he says to me, "Has yours got that little ejector pin mark in there?" So I'd look, I'm like, yeah, mine's got it. Now he's got the original one from the original release that doesn't have the ejector pin, and he's got the new one that's just been released with the new turret that has the ejector pin, and this is the Conquest version, which also has the ejector pin. So we were wondering if perhaps they have recently, and over the last sort of year or so, they bought a lot of new moulding machines, printing machines, you know, the things that make the sprues, a lot of new machines to make more models, and we were just wondering if perhaps they've retooled it and had to make some changes to where the ejection pin marks are for the new equipment. Maybe, could be. It's entirely a possibility. But that's also then giving me wonder if it's not just this one that's got some weird gaps and holes and fit issues in it. Maybe it's just the new tooling. I don't know. Maybe something weird going on. I've got a bit of spongy glue coming out there, but it looks kind of like a welding mark, so I'll leave that. Oh no, the idea of having babies around in my 50s is no. I'm very glad to occasionally see the nieces and nephews and be able to give them back. Thank you very much. Oh, me absolutely. Me absolutely. I can't be doing with kids. I need to just turn up and then go away after a while. Oh dear Lord, I've just put Red Dead 2 in the PS4 for the first time ever, and it's going to take 7 hours to install. Well, that was a bad move. Yeah, it takes a while. Downside of modern games: there's a lot of things to download and install. Yeah, all the things to download and install. Right, so what I'm going to try and do, I'm going to jump in ahead a bit here. Well, let's see if I can use some smarts. I know, me using smarts is highly unlikely, but let's see if I can do it. Right way around will be a start for a start of the smarts. That goes on there like that. Like that, you see. This goes on here, like this, you see. Lovely, does it? There you go, that's on there. This needs to sit on there, because it's got little tiny holes and pegs. Holes and pegs. Oh, ping. Bam, a lamb. That needs to go there. That sits on there. That goes like that. That's a shocking fit with lots of gaps, but it doesn't matter. What I can do now is actually, if I'm cunning, get this glued in place. So at least the two halves of the... There's a crow outside and it's shouting a lot. I don't know what it's shouting about, but it's shouting about something. So what I want to do is get these two pieces in place here. Get them glued to each other, but not to the actual main hull. Because my plan then to be able to attach the sidewalls, glue the sidewalls to the base here, but be able to take this back off again and leave. If I glue the wall, the sides to the base here and leave this on, then when they've cured, I can pop this off again. And it just gives me the option then, just gives me an option of actually painting the interior if George wants me to. If he doesn't, then I can just glue this bit on, no problem. There. Now I know it looks like I'm being messy with the glue, and I am. But at this stage, it doesn't matter, because don't forget this is going to get a layer of primer and paint and everything else on top. So don't be too precious about your extra thin or your extra fast setting glue right now. It doesn't actually matter. A lot of this will go away when you paint it all up. It's just important to make sure everything's where it needs to be. That looks pretty solid to me. Cool beans. That's that glue. So I'm going to leave that for a good 10 or 15 minutes now to do a bit of curing. And what we'll do next time is we'll come back. Oh, or I could just pull it off. That's also the other option. We will come back and we will crack on. I might take one of the sidewalls off camera. Might do it now just to make sure 39. Let's try part 39. Just really quickly, just to make sure everything's laid up in the right place. Get this off the sprue real quick. Down and dirty de-spruage. I'm not going to clean it up or anything just yet. I'm just going to get it off the sprue. Because if I need to be able to pop that top off now and fiddle around with it, I better do it now while I can. Let's actually... But this is the way I like to sort of plan things like this and go through tactically how to build stuff so I can do things like paint the interiors. Because I've just ordered, here's the amusing thing, I've just ordered some streaking grime from E-Models, but I couldn't order just ammo by MIG streaking grime. I had to order one of the ammo sets because you can't, they don't have the streaking grime on its own stock at the minute. So I had to order a streaking grime set. Or, that's right, an aircraft set which has streaking grime and some other bits and bobs. One of the things it has is zinc chromate interior colour. As a paint specifically is that for the sort of zinc chromate cockpit interiors. And if you see me do things before like my Chimera and stuff, I don't know if I did it on that, like my Stormwolf, you'll know that I like doing the interiors of tanks that kind of zinc chromate colour. Just to match with aircraft, because it's kind of cool. It suggests like an aircraft, they don't paint the interior, they just coat it in zinc chromate and that's it. It's protected then. Right, so it's very roughly cleaned up, very roughly. Let's just see if this fits. It's quite big, it's quite hefty. It's a hefty, a bit chunky boy, isn't it? Quite a bit of chunk going on. That goes on there. That sits on there. And that has a horrendous panel gap. Oh, look at that. Oh, that's horrible. Oh, my life. Oh, let's come off now. Oh, never mind. That sits... Oh, dear. Wow. That sits like that. Tell me that's not actually just bad fit. Don't I? I probably shouldn't do this while I'm actually on camera. I should do this when I've actually got time to sit and look at it properly and figure shizzle out, rather than having to hold things so you can see them. That goes there, that goes there. Let's do some taping. Find me some tape. Tape, get you some. Take that there just to stop it falling off. Und also, wie man tapes es hier, ja, das ist richtig. Like that, you see? That holds that in place. Yeah. Hey, I've got some of that washi tape. It's really good, but it's a bit more grippy than Tamiya tape, so be careful with it. Over paint. You have to de-tack it quite a bit. That will go on there like that. There, you see? It sits in there. That sits in there, and that has a horrendous... Look at that! Oh, I don't think I gouged that out. Oh, I think we'll be adding some battle damage to that when it goes together, I think. Oh yeah. You see that big chunk there, like big gap missing. Holy moly. But it does tell me that my roof is roughly in the right shape and place. Bit of squidurations and I can probably get that all to blend in quite nicely. Oh, that's a nasty big gap there. I might do some battle damage there maybe. The proper official grey plastic ones go together, okay, folks, because I assembled them before chopping them up. Yeah. Doodle-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. There's a YouTube that leaves the front side grav plate parts till last, and the sides are fit a lot better with little to no gaps. The front grav plate parts. I mean these bits. Do you mean the two pieces that sit here at the front? Or do you mean this bit that I've already glued to that bit? I've not glued this all together yet, but I've glued the glasses plate to the upper hull, if you know what I mean. It may just be this particular printing, because this isn't official printing. Remember, this is ropey Warhammer Conquest stuff. So yeah, that is a bit of a nasty gap there. That is literally just a great big honking gap. Great big honking gap. I can probably fill it with a bit of sprue goo or something. It's not the end of the world. It's a nice angled 45-degree corner, so it's not going to be hard to fill it and clean it up. That won't be a problem at all. I'm not feeling it. Everything else here fits perfectly, so it's not a major problem. Second or third assembly part. Oh, you mean these bits? Oh, right. You tell me that now, then. Yeah. Oh, not to worry. It's not the end of the world. I mean, that gap's not the end of the world. It's not a huge, enormous, scary gap. But it does tell me that I can put these walls in place, glue them here at the bottom, and then remove this roof completely and be able to access the interior. That's kind of good. I like that, because that means then that I can get this build on the way, and George can decide at the last minute whether he wants he can leave it to the last minute to decide if he wants the interior painting or not. Because if he wants the interior painting but all the doors are sealed shut, then he'd have to basically just be able to lift that off and say, oh, look, the interior's painted, look, and pop it off, put it back on again. Like I did with the Storm, with the Chimera. No. With the Chaos Rhino, you can just pop the top off. Finn the Dude says, hello everyone, welcome Finn the Dude, how you doing my friend? Welcome. I'll cut the other side wall off very quickly, and we'll just make sure that lines up as well. May as well, we've got a couple of minutes. Let's do this now, very quickly. See what happens. Can't do any harm. I am actually not sure what's going to happen on Warhammer Sunday once we've finished all these builds. There's a couple of scenery pieces I still need to do, and I could probably get them done. But once I've built everything, I'm not really sure what's going to happen on Warhammer Sundays. Because for the Space Marines especially, they need to have a proper paint job, because I'm doing them for George. So I can't be painting them. I can't be painting the Imperial stuff on a live stream, because when you're streaming, you're not doing your best paint job, because you've got lots of other things to think about. You're still doing a good paint job, but you're not doing the best paint job. And also I need to film everything, but if I've got like 10 Space Marines, I can film one and then paint the rest. So I could probably paint my Death Guard guys on live stream, but I think for George is one I want. So it does leave me wondering now what's going to happen on Warhammer Sundays. I've got a few stuff built up already. Like I've got a couple of Orc vehicles built up, and I've got my Age of Sigmar Shouty Space Horse, whatever it is. So I've got some things I can paint. It may just be a case that I just buy stuff. I've got my Baneblade to do. It may just be a case that I've gouged that myself there. I just buy stuff just to build and paint on the Sunday. Because my idea would be really, I suppose, that I buy a kit, I build it up, and I paint it on Warhammer Sunday, and then I can sell it. That one fits much better. Still got a bit of a gap there. Not quite as egregious as that side. But it's not anything we can't fill. That's absolutely fine. So that's looking pretty big. I mean, pretty good, even. Berg's not even a real word, Fox. That's looking pretty good. I will... I'll probably get the sides glued on today, off camera. And then next week we can crack on with the rest of the bits. Looking pretty good. I do like that. Hovery floaty tank. There is a little bit of a gap around this edge, but like I say, it's a 45-degree corner. Yeah, we can fill that with sprue goo and sand it back. It's not a problem. And if it all goes horribly wrong, I just Dremel a little bit of battle damage. I think George would like to have a little bit of battle damage on his Warhammers. I'm not giving him a choice. He would like to have a lot of battle damage on his Warhammers. He has no choice in the matter. Right, let's have a look at chat before we go then. Muse says, later all. Take care, buddy. Paint the Death Guard on stream. Well, that's the thing with my own Death Guard stuff. I'm not doing it for George. I have to paint George's stuff well because he's paid for a lot of this. He's basically paid for the Space Marines. So technically, for George, it's a commission. So I'm going to give him my best work, and that's not on a live stream when I'm trying to entertain everybody. For my Death Guard, I've got to obviously paint like a Plague Marine, and then the rest don't have to be filmed. I've got to film that bit. I've got to paint the characters. But for things like the rest of the Plague Marines and some of the bits and bobs, I can probably paint them on the live stream because it's just for me then. So it doesn't really matter. Let's just see how level this is. I haven't got a flat surface. I suppose, but this desk isn't flat. Never mind. So yeah, we'll get that. But I've got lots of Orc vehicles, and it might just be that I buy a kit, I build it on stream, and I paint it on stream, and then I sell it. And then the next week, because I want to do things like some of the Orc planes. I want to do some of the Orc planes. They're great. We might give one of them a go as well, like the bomber, buster, bomber, boom, bomber, fighter, bomber, jet, gun, Dakar, bomber, gun, jet, kill, death, bomber, Dakar, jet, boom, jet, Dakar, bomber, jocker, big. Yeah, one of them. You have the Forge World stuff too, says Team Inept. Oh yeah, I've got my Macarius Vanquisher and my Malcador Infernus. Ooh, yes. But they'll be built before I paint them. I'm not building them on screen because that's resin, and I can't work with a respirator on and do a stream. Also, yeah. Start Mortal Realms, says Gross Models. If I could afford to start Mortal Realms, I would start Mortal Realms. I cannot afford to start. I've got enough stuff to paint anyway. I think we'll be fine. It might just, like I say, it might just be a case that for a few weeks I build and paint a thing. Like I did that Chimera. That took me a good couple of months. I've got at least one. What have I got? Let's have a look. Okay, I've got the shouty space horse star lizard thing from the big shouty dragon thing with a stormcast on the back. Shouty space horse. I've got the rhino that Steve sent me. Got to strip and paint, but that might end up being a tabletop trauma centre. I have at least 1, 2. I've got 3 Orc vehicles, 2 made and 1 not made. I've got the one and the other one, and there's another one. I think I've got 3 of them. What's that? I've got 3 of them. I think 3 Orc vehicles I've built. I've got the thing that Simon sent me, which is the monster thing from Age of Sigmar. I've got my Valkyrie that I need to do. I've got all my own army, my own Tempestus Silence and Imperial Guard that I've got to paint. So there's loads of things I can get on with. It's just when it comes to painting, it's difficult because when I'm painting, I've got to get close, and the risk is that all you see is the back of my head, unless I get a webcam and put it down on the desk, so it's literally on a little tripod just looking down. Because I can do that. I can mount it on a little tripod, but then every time I move something on the desk, it's going to make the camera wobble. So I'll figure something out. We'll find stuff to do. And if I do run out, I can just say, right, this week I bought this kit. We're going to build this. And that'll be a good month's content there. Yes, the Orc Novak Djokovic jet. Get one of the new Intercessor paint sets, 3 minis and some paints. You can still paint SMs on stream then without a massive spend. Could do. It could do. I've also got what else have I got? I've got Baneblade to do. I've got the Admech floaty tank. I've got loads of stuff to build. Actually, I've got me I've got loads of stuff. It'll carry on. Don't worry. It may end up with me doing painting again. I might have to do painting. I'll have to figure that out. Get the new hero quest when it comes out in 2 days and paint the minis out that on camera. Look at the muscularity. Yeah. Not spending money right now, though. I've got a massive stash, nowhere to put new stuff, and of course I can't afford to buy any new stuff right now. I think we'll have lots of content going forward. Anyway, that's going to do us because it's just gone past 6 o'clock. I need to go and do the washing up and make the dinner. That's going to be. Thank you very much for watching to all of you. I'll just make sure my buttons are still working. Yes. Thank you very much for watching. Let me turn my camera around, turn my glasses, and where's my other glasses? Hang on, let me swap it round so you can see me. Hang on a minute. Let me press the button. There we go. I know it's weird, isn't it? I don't like it. Oh, yes, so that's going to do it. Thank you very much for watching. Let's drink the water. I will be back, of course, tomorrow, because tomorrow is eModels Monday. Now, don't forget, Ted is away. He's taken the LEM. He calls it the LEM, the Lunar Escape Module. He calls it the LEM. He's gone away driving around the country in his camper van, so he's not going to be with us tomorrow night on the eModels show. It's me, Colin, and Chris, assuming we're all free. And don't know what's happening there, but we'll be fine. We'll be fine with that, Ted. Don't you worry. That's tomorrow night. I'm going to finish painting off the Falcon. I'll see if I can do this. You won't be able to see it very well, but I'll probably drop it and be sad. Look. you can't see it. It's the wrong lighting and wrong exposure, but the streaks and everything on there. I know you can't see it. Not with the camera the way it's set up. But yeah, that's going to be working on that this week. And then I shall be back. If not before then, I shall be back, of course, next Friday for Fallout Friday. Now, I do have a couple more boxes of the X-Wing that I need to do. So I need to do another X-Wing stream at some point. But I might wait till I've got a third. I like to get 3 sets, 3 boxes deliveries. So that's like 9 issues. And then I can spend a live stream, 2 or 3 hours on a live stream doing it. So I'll wait for the third one to turn up. I do have some mystery package stuff to unbox as well, but I'm not ready. I'm waiting for a few more bits to turn up. But until next time, until tomorrow night, if you're watching your models on emodels.co.uk, just let me say, I'm talking rubbish now, give me... Right. I shall say, if you want to help support this channel, please consider it. You can become a patron at patreon.com/modelmakingguru. The address is there somewhere. Or you can press the join button underneath any of my videos and become a channel member. You get ad-free exclusive access to various bits of content. A lot of my stuff goes ad-free for a week in advance for patrons, channel members, so check it out. Don't forget, of course, you can go to goblingaming.co.uk or emodels.co.uk. Use the links in the description below this video to get all your model making and tabletop gaming stuff, and it tells them I sent you and I get some income from that. And of course, I've got lots of Amazon store links down there, and I make an income from select items on Amazon. So go and check out the links down there as well. Remains for me to say thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to watch Chris on Gross Models tonight, 8 PM. On his channel. It's 8 PM. It is 8 PM, isn't it, Chris? I think. I'd just assume it's 8 PM and turn up just before. If not, you get time and chat for a bit. But yes, go watch that at 8 PM. Dad's not on tonight, like I said. No scaly models in between shows, sadly. But hey, you just get a chance to eat our dinner in that case. But yes, take care of yourselves. Go make something awesome. This or that or this or these things. Go be awesome. You already are. And until next time, I will get used to talking. I'm not used to it at all. It's really weird. I'm like, oh. I'll say, until next time, I'll say. But I have to lean forward now to press the button. I've got to press that one, and then I've got to press that one. I can't do it without, I've just got to do it.